Number 226 is the percentage increase in the size of Poland's economy GDP per capita since the fall of communism in 1990. In the last 30 years, Poland's economy has grown more than tenfold, which is genuinely meteoric. This makes it the most successful economy in Europe during that time, recording an average growth rate of 4% in Europe. Poland is located between two rival superpowers, Germany and Russia, and it has had a challenging past. Just in the briefest of terms, Poland was wiped off the map in the 18th century, and it was invaded from both directions, Germany and Russia, in the 20th century. So, how has that longer-term history shaped its present-day political and economic identity? Poland's rich history is a captivating journey through time. It all began around 2000 BC with the emergence of Poland's first civilization. However, the turning point came in AD 966 when the region's disparate tribes were united under the Slavic chief Mieszko, the first ruler of Poland and the founder of the first independent Polish state. Fast forward to the late 1500s, Poland and Lithuania joined together and formed a large, powerful commonwealth with elected kings. By the late 1700s, however, Poland had been weakened by a series of wars with its neighbours. In 1795, it was conquered and divided among Russia, Prussia, now Germany, and Austria. The once mighty nation vanished from the world map, its existence denied for 123 long years.
It was an old story to the people of Poland. Conquest, subjugation, enslavement. It had happened before in Poland's troubled history, but never with such inhumanity.
How do you automate your whole sales process in less than a minute? With Zapier. Because of Zapier, my sales process is streamlined and automated without me having to do a bunch of manual work. Go to Zapier.com and try it for free today.
After World War I in 1918, Poland was restored as a sovereign nation. However, just 21 years later, Germany and the Soviet Union attacked, intending to divide Poland between them. This aggression marked the beginning of World War II. Finally, in 1947, Poland was re-established as effectively a satellite puppet state of the Soviet Union. A new phase of economic and social development started under communism, which is arguably, in the long run, an economic failure. However, it didn't start that way. For better or for worse, one thing that Soviet dominance in the area and the common rule of the Communist Party did was industrialize Poland, particularly in the mining and manufacturing sector. In 1989, when the Iron Curtain finally fell, Poland found itself on the brink of economic collapse. It had a large, inefficient agricultural sector, terrible roads and rail links, and an economy no larger than that of its neighbour. A stereotype had been created for Poland, a big, poor country with shambolic governments, dreadful roads and eccentric habits. Old stereotypes die hard, but the facts paint an increasingly different picture. By the grim standards of recent centuries, Poland has never been more secure, prosperous or better run. If becoming rich is challenging for individuals, it is even more challenging for nations, especially for a nation that was nearly bankrupt. Out of more than 190 countries tracked by the International Monetary Fund, fewer than 40 are considered wealthy or advanced economies. The rest are being referred to as emerging nations, and many of them have been in the emerging category for a long time. The last large country to enter the advanced class was South Korea, 20 years ago. The next major nation likely to join that club could be Poland, an under-the-radar economic star. So, how did Poland become an unlikely island of economic success? In the early 1990s, rigorous economic shock therapy put Poland on the right track. Market-oriented reforms included removing price controls, restraining wage increases, slashing subsidies for goods and services, and balancing the budget. The cure was painful, but after a couple of years of sharp recession in 1990 to 91, Poland started to grow again. It has not stopped since, and received a further boost when it joined the EU in 2004. Since then, economic growth has averaged 4% a year. GDP per person at purchasing power parity is now 80% of the EU average, compared with 39% in 1990. Moreover, Poland was the only major European country that didn't experience a recession during the financial crisis. This was due to a combination of luck and effective fiscal and monetary policies. Poland's flexible exchange rate for the zloty, limited reliance on international trade, and low levels of household and corporate debt also contributed to its resilience. This strong economic performance has elevated Poland's extra weight in the EU, both economically and politically, making it one of the key member countries alongside Germany, Britain, France, Italy, and Spain. However, Poland's economic success was made possible due to its utilization of the industrialization legacy from the communist era. By attracting foreign investments from Western countries, Poland was able to stimulate its domestic production and integrate its economy into global supply chains. As a result, Poland, along with its neighboring countries in the Visegrad Group, has become a significant player in industries such as automotive and electronics. Domestic firms in Poland serve as suppliers to international manufacturers, particularly those from Germany. Poland is following a path similar to the Asian success stories by becoming a manufacturing powerhouse. Even though this journey is more challenging today, manufacturing is declining as a share of the global economy, and with China taking much of this shrinking pie, only a few major manufacturing nations are expanding their share of global exports. This select group of around half a dozen countries includes South Korea, the Czech Republic, and Poland. First and foremost, Poland has made significant progress in establishing a favorable business environment. They have embraced economic reforms, encouraged innovation, and developed a strong infrastructure that attracts both domestic and foreign investments. Poland's strategic geographical location at the crossroads of Europe has also positioned it as a gateway for trade and investment, which has further fueled its growth. Poland is the largest country in Central and Eastern Europe and the 9th largest in Europe. 65% of its population is at working age, which means a workforce of 22.7 million people. The combination of human capital and cheap skilled labor attracts foreign entrepreneurs to invest in Poland. Each year, Polish universities produce 37,500 engineers, ranking second in the EU after Germany. The presence of talented and well-educated employees, along with a supportive environment for startups, has attracted the most venture capital investments in the region. Additionally, Poland's focus on education and skills development has helped cultivate a talented workforce, which is a crucial asset in today's competitive global landscape. Since 2000, Poland has spent an average of 4.5% of GDP on education, which is above EU average. It consistently ranks among the top 5 or 6 in reading, math, and science out of 38 OECD countries, outperforming wealthier nations like Britain, France, or Germany. This strong educational foundation lays the groundwork for continued robust economic growth. Poles also work hard, on average 39 hours per week, more than the notoriously hardworking Americans and well ahead of British, French, or German counterparts. One of the most important features of the Polish economy is its large domestic consumer market, which makes up 61% of GDP. This exceeds the EU average and has similarities with the US. Household consumption, driven by a robust labour market and wage growth, is expected to continue as a key driving force for the Polish economy. In terms of infrastructure investments, Poland has been the largest beneficiary of EU funds, receiving €102 billion from 2007 to 2013 and €106 billion between 2014 to 2020. This has significantly benefited the construction and real estate sectors, fueled by infrastructure projects and the expansion of global service centres in Poland, with international companies such as IBM, Citigroup, Credit Suisse, and Capgemini relocating part of their operations to Poland. It has also managed to tap into robust sources of innovation in the new economy. One of the fastest growing sectors is video game development. A report by the Polish Agency for Enterprise Development has found Poland's video gaming workforce as one of the largest in Europe. The report, titled The Game Industry of Poland Report 2023, highlights that the Polish games industry is growing consistently with record numbers year after year.
Ova inovacija krenula je riječju ne. Zadovoljni ste perilicom ispred sebe? Ne. Tiha je? Ne. Štedi energiju? Ne.
Currently, there are over 300 game developing companies operating in Poland, and over 20 are listed on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. However, the fact is that Eastern European growth has heavily relied on capital and expertise from the West. Foreign companies play a significant role in Polish exports and employ a large portion of the workforce. This means that profits are often transferred abroad, which weaken the ability of domestic firms to scale up. Poland is setting records in terms of foreign direct investment (FDI) inflows, and it is well positioned to benefit from the global trend of nearshoring supply chains. However, FDIs come with a double-edged sword. They stimulate growth but also reinforce reliance on external sources and may discourage local investments in domestic economic capabilities. For instance, in the entire Central and Eastern European region, only one company, the Polish state-owned oil refiner PKN Orlen, appears on the Fortune Global 500 list. The biggest challenge for Poland's economy is to avoid the middle-income trap and prevent getting stuck at its current level. Poles are not saving and investing enough for the economy to transition from being Western Europe's primary subcontractor to one with global, innovative Polish companies. Over the last 10 years, the average saving rate has been only 21% of GDP, and the average investment rate has been 24% of GDP, both below the EU average. The country currently allocates less than 1.5% of GDP to R&D, roughly half the Western European average. Demography is another concern for Poland's economy. It has one of the lowest fertility rates in the EU and continues to experience emigration. Approximately 2 million Poles emigrated after the country's entry into the EU, with about half of them moving to the UK. Mass emigration was driven partly by unemployment at home, which remained persistently high for many years, but it has now reached its lowest level since 1990. Moreover, Poland faces a significant challenge in transitioning to clean energy, as it has the most fossil fuel-heavy energy mix in the EU. If the necessary investments are delayed, this could impact the competitiveness of the Polish industry, which has been the primary driver of growth so far. Poland's booming economy plays a crucial role in the EU's response to the war in Ukraine. Its strong economic growth in recent decades has made investments in advanced military equipment like modern tanks and aircraft possible. Additionally, Poland's flourishing enterprise sector and increasing demand for labour has allowed the company to efficiently accommodate a significant influx of refugees. The ongoing historical events are unlikely to significantly impact Europe's balance of power. The European Union is primarily founded on trade and economic interests, and Poland currently holds a peripheral position in this institutional framework. However, it will require a genuine commitment to nurture domestic economic capacities in the landscape of a globalized and fast-paced economy. And in Poland, such a commitment is still largely confined to the realm of political speeches and wishful thinking. But at least they carry their heads high when they go. These days, Poland's voice abroad once again counts for something.
Hey yo, dobro večer. Could be more for you, Rich Fox. I don't know. I haven't never looked, to be honest. Where do I even get it? Okay, is that premium? One month trial and €9.55 a month? You guessed €2.05? You guessed €2.05 and it's $9.55 a month? Family membership? Can I get family membership? Oh, that's even worse. Up to 5 family members. Can I just add anyone? Can I just like add anyone? Can I add? I don't have 5 friends. Can I add 5 stream people? Bastards, $9.55. You know what I can buy for $9.55? I mean, not many things, but still. We sent a couple of helicopters to Ukraine. Hey, yo, you reminded me. I saw the news about this. We sent a couple. We actually sent all helicopters of a specific helicopter brand, type, thing. We tried. VPN, connect to Turkey and Ukraine. Get YouTube Premium for like €2. I should actually. I should probably. Why is it so much more expensive? What's the price in Germany? Is it even worse in Germany? Should be like 10 times worse then. Yeah, if we look, I'm gonna add one of the things on stream that you can redeem for channel points, and you get to be part of our monthly family YouTube thing. I need to do that. I need to calculate how much it would cost. Possibly less than $9.55. Holy shit, man. That is a lot of cash. Site can't be... Which site? Which site, you fucking loser? Where did they want to go even? What did I want to do? What did I try to look up? Oh yeah, Croatian helicopters. Croatian helicopters, 99 hryvnia in Ukraine. Illegal. We're not that much, better than your standard, you losers. We're not that better than your standards are. So I don't really think that's fair. I don't really think that's nice. Like, we're not really that much richer than you people are. But yeah, we sent Mi-8 helicopters. We sent all that we have. We gave a whole fleet. Apparently we had 14 and we sent all 14. So as far as I remember, it used to be 8 before and now we sent 6 more. Or was it 6 before and now it was 8? I don't know. But okay, we sent all of them. What do you mean they're ugly as fuck? No, they're not. Are they? No, they're not useless. Do I know which helicopters those are? I thought they look like basic bitch helicopters. Don't they look like basic bitch helicopters? Am I thinking of some wrong helicopters? DuckDuckGo is not working. Can't even blame it. I believe I'm fat. I had a joke to make, but I'm not gonna do it. But look at it! Come on. What's wrong with it? What is wrong with it? He just looks normal. He looks like a helicopter. All helicopters look like this. Did you want to see one of those American ones with like double the ra-ta-ta-ta-ta things? All of them look the same. All helicopter types. All of them are the same. You have the round ones, you have the long ones. That's it. It's the long one. All the long ones are the same. Look at this long one. Look at this long one. Same shit. Long one. Same shit. Looking the same. You have these horror ones. Those ones are scary, okay? I'm genuinely terrified of these. And you have the round ones, like these. But that's that. It's long, round, and horror. That's it, the 3 types of helicopters. And we send them the long ones, which are the same as every other long one. Holy shit, this is actually terrifying. Like, the more I see it, the more scared I am. Just imagine, I would surrender everything. I would surrender my country. I would surrender all of you. I would surrender everything I have and everything I will ever have if I see that bullshit going straight towards me. The fuck is that? Dragonfly ones? Is that like a normal... what's a dragonfly? What did dragonfly look like? What's a dragonfly helicopter? Oh, the pointy. It's like... See, this is ugly. Talking about ugly ones, this is ugly. Seems useful, But looks very ugly. Looks very, very ugly. These pointy ones though, that's cute. That's cutish. Ugly. Useful though, but ugly. I mean, you can see a lot from it, I guess. It has nice big windows, nice big things. It probably, when you look from it to the outside, probably looks like one of those, you know, sci-fi movies with like the glasses and everything being very, very big. Black Hawk? What's a Black Hawk? Yeah, but it's like a basic long one. It's a basic long one and a basic long one. It's just basic long ones. It's long. Nothing is special about it. It's just long. It's not a horror one. It's a long one. 1950s helicopters. Not ugly and not fat. That's important. Blitz? C-127 Sentry. The fuck is that? Is that a tank? Oh, Let me copy. Can't believe I'm having to look at your people's ugly helicopters to defend our beautiful, beautiful Croatian helicopters, okay? What is this? Mini Spy HD camera drone? Send these to Ukraine. Send these to Ukraine so I can see what my money is doing there, okay? Do a fundraiser. B-22 Osprey. What is that? Osprey? What are you? Imagine you're a Serb doing Serb things, aka war crimes, and one day you look out your window and you just see this, like rushing straight towards you. Horrible. Just horrible. Tank is better than choppers? I think anything is good. I think anything you can get is good. And I think everything we have should be sent. I think a chopper is better than no chopper. Enemy to Croatia. We're in a type of a situation where we don't really have an enemy. We're just kind of standing strong. We're doing fine. We rely on NATO. We basically, if we want to keep ourselves safe, we gotta keep NATO strong. Because the second NATO goes down, we're fucked. Regardless of what we have. Israel? Ooh, Hamas conflict situation. What do you think about the current Hamas conflict situation? What's your people's opinions? Have you seen the protest? Have you seen the protest in Bosnia? Have you seen the flags on the protest in Bosnia? Because they had some flags about throwing Israel in trash. I thought it was fun. Transparent. Personally, you support Israel? Fully. I'm trying to be realistic on supporting Israel's right for self-defense. But also, I think they're not trying to avoid civilian casualties. I think they're not trying to avoid civilian casualties at all. I think they have to be condemned for that. I think we gotta expect better from our allies, you know? Like, man, I'm not really too happy about the fact that a country so closely connected to the West is basically ready to kill as many civilians as they want while they're trying to fight Hamas. I don't really support it. I think they're being very lazy. The Serbs invade Croatia in Balkan War? Yeah, we were victims of Serbian invasion too. They were using Serbian military and they were also using UNA, which was the Yugoslav National Military, which previously used to be shared in a way among the republics. So, for example, Croatia had its own Croatian branch of JNA, Serbia had its own, Slovenia had its own, right? Every republic had its own. And then just before the breakup of Yugoslavia, they switched the borders of different JNA zones to be different from the republic zones. So, you know, other republics wouldn't get to defend themselves using JNA. Mostly pro-Israel, anti-Hamas, because it looked very like Russia. Oh, I'm GG with being anti-Hamas. I have seen a lot of people being very Islamophobic though. So I'm a bit not happy about that. I think we're dealing with wait, I clicked on this one. I have to open this browser so I can see it in big. I think we're dealing with a situation in which we're trying to fight anti-Semitism, which good, bravo, good fight, strong fight against anti-Semitism. It's getting really dangerous out here. But I think some people trying to fight against anti-Semitism go strongly into Islamophobia instead, which still ain't alright. So be a bit balanced on that, okay? Be a bit balanced on that. What is the AI fake, by the way? Let me see.
Specifically for the planet. If we want to continue fighting battles like environmentally conscious humans, we must make the change to sustainable tanks and weaponry. There are so many new concepts for battery-powered fighter jets that can carry many more missiles, biodegradable missiles, of course. Something literally everybody can do to stop this nonsense is, for example, block the roads to gardens and farms so the plants don't get overrun by these heavy, heavy tanks. Hand grenades, very important. If you use hand grenades, please use vegan grenades. No animal should have to give their life for all this mayhem and chaos. They have a special sticker on them. You really can't miss them in the grenade market or wherever you buy them. Yeah, I cover all of this and more in my newest book, Vegan Wars.
I ordered Willy magazine.
Sneak link!
What was that ending? I support it actually. If there actually were vegan grenades, I would be encouraging you people to buy them. I would be encouraging it. But unfortunately this seems to be AI, which makes me very, very disappointed. Seeing some with Islam clothes said, fuck, we already have enough terrorists that. Yeah, see, like that. Strong Islamophobia we're seeing around. Strong Islamophobia we're seeing. I was planning actually maybe to do a stream on both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia in Europe this week. But then my weekend got really, really busy. So, we're actually doing streams on alcoholism issues. We're actually switching on to that because it's an easier topic. And because I won't have much time these days to do proper coverage. But the issues are plenty. When you look at researches regarding our countries and our issues with, again, both Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, we have very, very bad situations with both and getting constantly worse. Okay? So be very careful about how you're approaching the news on this. Because I think we're already seeing some really, really cheap rhetoric coming from both sides. Like I've seen several people trying to talk about Islamophobia in Europe, for example, and then they get replies from people who are like, you're talking about Islamophobia in Europe? Then what do you think about this Jewish family being killed by Hamas? Do you not think Islamophobia in Europe is justified? And this, so just like take a step back, okay? Take a step back, maybe. Understand who the enemy is here. Israel being attacked by Hamas. I think civilian victims are... Attacks on civilians are inexcusable. I think the attacks on civilians must be condemned. I do not think Hamas was doing anything justifiable. I believe they were shitting on the Palestinian cause. I believe they were making the situation only worse, as we are seeing it, happen. I do believe Israel has a right to respond. I believe Israel has a right to defend itself. I do believe their response has been not too smart. I believe they could have done it in way better ways. I'm not really too happy with the amount of civilian casualties this is going to cause. Israel removed Greta from school program after pro-Palestina? Oh, why the hell? That makes no sense to me. Israel bombing hospital in Gaza? Wait, are you thinking... Is that like the attack that happened after the attack that they lied about? But I think the reason is that Israel just wants to destroy Hamas, and they don't really care how much civilian casualties they cause on the side. That is how I see it. Israel wants to destroy Hamas. Because Israel wants to destroy Hamas, they are... Would I say ready? They are ready to cause an amount of civilian casualties, I think. So, that's how I see it. Now, the amount, on the amount of civilian casualties, we could debate how would I say it? We could debate how much they are taking care to lessen the amount. But I'm not really sure that they are too careful with it. New brother nations, Russia and Palestine. Yeah, they already have that. I was always interested in that though. I'm kinda interested in mindset of those people. Like, how could you be like, hey, I think Palestine has a right to defend itself against Israeli invasion, which I understand that as a point. I have something really, really fun to show you. But I understand that as a point, okay? Palestine has a right to defend itself against Israel because Israel has been expanding settlements on the territory of Palestine. I understand that. What I don't understand is how can you say that and then in the same breath defend Russia for invading Ukraine? That's where I'm like losing the plot. I see being supportive of Palestine and Ukraine. I see that. It's like basically anti-invasion, anti-imperialism. I see that. It's an okay position. It's a position I can understand, and it's a position I can respect. And in the same way, when it comes to being pro-Ukraine and being pro-Israel, I understand that. Like, I understand both. I think both are positions that a person reasonably could take. But like being pro-Palestine and being pro-Russia, I'm just... you gotta be some sort of an idiot for that. Israel doesn't just have the right, but the obligation to retaliate. If Hamas gave up their guns, there could be a chance at peace. If Israel gave up their guns, there would be no Israel. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. I see that position. UN, especially in Israeli-Palestinian creation of this conflict. The UN doesn't really have a good, how would we call it? Good track record of keeping anything contained, really. I don't think it's surprising that they are failing here. I don't think they ever had something they didn't fail in. So like, if Israel doesn't retaliate, Hamas will strike again and again. Yeah, definitely. Israel and Israeli government, as much as we may be judgmental of their operations, Israeli government does have an obligation to protect its citizens. And in a case of a terrorist attack happening on your soil, you should retaliate if you want to protect your citizens. Because, like, what's the alternative? A terrorist attack happens on your soil, you go, ah, shit, yeah, okay, guys, don't do it again. You're gonna get fucked. So I understand why they had to respond. I'm just think the response is interesting. Palestine would lose all sympathy in the world if Israel didn't respond in such a way. To be fair, though, I do think Israel is kind of dealing with a problem of strong religious extremism. I don't think they're as I don't really think you could, you know, try to even the odds there. I think Israel is dealing with very, very similar problems as Palestine is dealing with when it comes to that. European Union alcohol? Heck yeah, we're doing research on European Union and alcohol. Abraham Isaac Cook, who is that? Cook? Oh, first chief rabbi of British Mandatory Palestine. Oh, nice. I know nothing about history of Palestine, to be honest. I know the basics with who the grounds belonged to, and that was basically it. That was basically the whole thing. Did he do something memorable, or was he just existing? Rabbi of Jerusalem, Rabbi of Palestine. Oh! He believed there was a fundamental difference between Jews and... How do you even say this in English? Oh... Difference between the Israelite neshama and the neshama of all nations is greater and deeper than the difference between the nefesh of man and the nefesh of animals. Beyond what? Why won't some of the pro-Palestine people condemn Hamas when before the specific event they were treating Palestinians like trash and fodder? I think there's two responses to this. One of them being that they're grifters. Lots of them are grifters. Lots of them, especially when you look at pro-Palestine, pro-Russia positions, lots of them are grifters. You cannot accept that there is something nuanced about your position. You have to keep your position very, very, very simple because you want idiots to stick to it. It's like, you're a piece of shit and there are flies, you know, running through it. You can't take any sort of nuance. You can't give them anything to like think about and analyze a little bit. It's very similar to what we've seen with pro-Russian people refusing to condemn anything bad Russian government may be doing, even when you offer them a leeway. So even when other pro-Russian people are like, hey, you know, maybe Russia actually did do this horrible attack on civilians. Maybe they did actually do it. But, you know, at least we can say that it was the Russian government who was pushing for this and not Russian civilians, because Russian civilians are still based and the greatest nation in the world. And you will still see grifters refusing to even take that position, right? They refuse to take anything nuanced. But I think another problem, which may be a bit more prevalent even, is that some of the pro-Palestine people are really stupid. And I don't think this is just a thing for pro-Palestine people. But some of them are just really dumb and they don't know the difference between Hamas and Palestinians. They are only learning about it now. When you give them like a month, 2, 3 maybe, they are going to learn the difference, and then you will see them pointing out the difference. But for now, they're just like jumping into the story, and they don't really care too much about learning the history. They just care about jumping in with their opinions. Similar to how they talk about Syria, for example. So when you see people talk about Syria, like I just talked to a Croatian today, I think, on Twitter, who was into the idea that when people say they support Syria, they actually support Assad, which, like, no. No. But he was into the idea that the West must be supportive of ISIS, because he sees ISIS as going against the Syrian people, but the Syrian people in his mind are supported by Russia, right? Because Russia says it's with Syria. So I don't know where he's seeing Assad being in that fucking situation. It's incredibly, like, simple view of it, but they're just very, very, very dumb. So when you say something against Hamas, to their mind, it's like you're saying something against Palestinians themselves. They just don't know the difference. Hinkle? Oh yeah, Hinkle is a fucking grifter. Hinkle is a goddamn grifter. I liked the NAFO thing, by the way. NAFO for a while had a thing where they were making up conspiracies about Hinkle, about him being a USA spy. Because think about it, okay? A kiddo from USA travels all the way to Russia and buys an escort there to pretend to be his fiancée, and then gets close to Russian military. Is that not a little bit suspicious? Because to me it is a little bit suspicious. So I liked the theories of him being a CIA asset, and I hope people spread it around more often. If anything, we have already managed to get one of propagandists in problem because of this. Maybe we should do the same there. The fuck is this? Communist International? Largest communist online library? Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Oh, that looks horribly made. That is just sad. Sections of countries? Sections of continents? All European section? Oh, okay. All European section. Ooh, okay. EU War Summit. Solidarity with the people in Kosovo. Huh. Neither fascist Serbia nor the imperialist European Union can save Kosovo. Kosovo can only be saved under the communist... Is this a meme or are they legit? Wait, do they have Croatia? Oh, there's no Croatia. There's no Croatia. Why is there not Croatia? Poland! The Polish state is a smuggling gang that sells visas. Slippers. Did you know this? Did you know this? I don't think you did. I don't think you were aware of this. Ooh, on August 31st, 2023, agents of the Central Anti-Corruption Bureau entered the Foreign Ministry in Warsaw, questioned the leadership of the Consular Department, asking them about MFA's Visa Decision Center. What is this on? There were booths in front of our embassy where you could buy already stamped documents. All you had to do was enter your name. Smuggling Indian immigrants into Mexico. What? Poland? Is this? You're selling visas to some immigrants, I guess, but not to everyone? Only $5,000 Poland national visa. How dare you? How dare you, people? Bulgaria. On paper only. Imperialist Europe banned cluster bombs only in words and support NATO's practical deployment of cluster bombs in the Ukraine war against civilian population. NATO hypocrites and cluster bombs. Fascist Joe Biden. Yeah, I actually saw someone write a little analysis on this recently. That was kind of cool. About how people use fascist to mean evil, and how like it's kind of interesting how much meaning the word is losing and how dangerous that is considering the current situation in all of our countries and the fact that we might need the goddamn word. But they use it to mean evil. So whenever they see something in the government that they dislike, they will call it fascist instead of just calling it like morally wrong or just outright evil, you know, or pointing out what exactly is wrong with it. They just use fascist as an like umbrella term for all of these, and it's making the word completely lose any essence. Actually simping for Stalin? Lots of them are. Lots of them are. They will not admit it. They will not admit it, but yeah. No countries that seriously think about possibility of full-scale war banned cluster bombs. That too. But like, to be fair, USA, which didn't ban cluster bombs, gave cluster bombs to Ukraine, which didn't ban cluster bombs. So I don't really know what they mean about you know, bitching about it. Fascism and racism, both overused and watered down. I could see that. Calling his teacher a fascist for not letting them use phones at school. Yeah, like that. It's like completely watered down. Completely. It means nothing at this point. And then when you like look at our governments, genuinely, at this time, some of us do have governments which are walking a thin line between, you know, what you would call normal, what's the word? What would be the word for like government having power but not doing it overtly? But then they're walking a thin line between that and using fascist rhetoric. And when you point it out, no one's gonna care. People are gonna be like, "Oh, you're calling this government fascist?" Lemao, you Twitter kids. Cluster bombs are one of the weapons which ranks up with poison gas and mines in terms of its sheer brutality and ability to make a region completely uninhabitable for a large period of time. I mean, when the Russian imperialists used cluster bombs in Ukraine, they were declared to be the worst criminals mankind has ever known. The media raved about the massive collateral destruction that these bombs can cause. Now, NATO have begun shipping these horrible weapons to Ukraine, and suddenly the tune has changed. All of those who beat the drum so hard against the Russo-fascists when they used cluster bombs now declare that the United States is saving Ukrainian democracy and that there is nothing wrong with the cluster bombs. Yeah. First, yeah, they are saving Ukrainian democracy. Like, that is objectively true. Giving cluster bombs to Ukraine is helping save Ukrainian democracy. Definitely true. Another big problem was that Russians use them against civilians specifically. And then another big problem is that Russian cluster bombs are shit. Literally, like, what you have a situation right now in Ukraine, right, is Russians are invading and Russians are using their shit cluster bombs, which leave a lot of duds behind. USA cluster bombs are of way better quality, leaving behind way less duds. The best way to leave Ukrainian regions with the least amount of cluster bomb duds possible is to get rid of Russians using their shit-ass cluster bombs. Literally, using USA grade ones to get rid of Russian invaders still leaves the areas in better state than what Russians would leave them in. Bombing Kharkiv with cluster bombs since day one, that too. Oh, why? When Russians use something against civilians, we say it's bad. But when Ukrainians use the same thing against the Russian invaders, we say it's good. Such hypocrisy from the West. See, when the poor farmer blows themselves up on a dud when working in the fields, what does it matter if the bomb was sent by the peace-loving leaders of Russia or America? Less duds are gonna be left if the peace-loving leaders of USA send us cluster bombs to take out the Russians. It's just statistics. When a child blows their leg off and can no longer enjoy the happiness of youth. What is this writing? Does it matter whether the bomb was supporting NATO fascism or Russo fascism? Well, I would argue that the fact a child is alive means that, you know, Ukraine has likely been liberated. Because otherwise, what are you going to see? You're going to see mass graves again? You're going to see mass graves? Would you rather the child be in danger of being chunked into a mass grave, or the possibility of it stumbling upon duds, which, you know, we can also try to figure out where they are and try to remove them. It's what we had. I just, this whole fucking drama about this. We had to do the exact same thing here. They'll have to do demining regardless. What is important now is to ensure the survival of the nation and to ensure that this war ends as soon as possible, so we can start with demining and so we can start with making these areas safe for people again. But all of this fighting just seems so fucking useless in a situation where Russians are actively invading right now. Last year in Ukrainian Twitch chat, when we had blackouts, 50% uptime, man. Even worse though. Fucking comedy. Driver rammed participants of a pro-Palestinian rally. What? In which people lay down the road pretending to be dead? What? 5,000 people blocked a busy city intersection to stage a rally. They lay down on the ground, covering themselves with posters and scraps of cloth, imitating white clothes with bloodstains. Hostile driver threatened the protesters with his car and a clerical knife. He was disarmed by the protesters' security personnel, but then drove through the crowd? Okay, wait, no, new updates. People are okay? People are okay? Man. Oh man, that was fucking dangerous. That was just, ooh. Ooh. What is this? Oh. Oh, they support right to abortion. They support the right to abortion. Fair. Fair. Actually, one fair thing that they're on. One fair thing. Nice. Thank you, commies, for one thing you're based in. Nice, 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 nice. The driver was harassed. I mean, I could understand if he was. If he like wanted to pass through, but then wasn't allowed to. I can see that. But like I don't really support the idea of driving over people doing a protest. I'm not really about to make excuses for that. What? Oh, they were following all the news on this. They were posting quite regularly though. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Wait, giving the link key right here. I got shitload of botniks. Man, how long do they go? By the way, we need to talk about alcoholism. Okay, I need to show you my alcoholism things. Oh, what did they think about Assad? What? What do they mean by this? In no country in the world has it happened that the consequences of a great disaster, like the one that occurred in a socialist country, were eliminated in record time. What do they mean by this? What are they talking about? talking about stuff I can't understand. I have to show you something. I was trying to quickly get some sources for alcoholism issues in European Union. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Okay, found this. 1 in 12 adults in European Union consumes alcohol every day. Simple so far, right? Now, daily alcohol intake is the most frequent in Portugal, Spain, and Italy. Lowest share was around 1% in Latvia and Lithuania. Seems to make sense, right? So far you're like, I understand what they mean from the text. But then you go to the source. You go to the source of where they got the numbers from, and you look at the numbers. Here's the daily one. And you're like, what do they mean? Wait, where's the top one? Here it is. What do they mean? Why is France up here? You're like, huh? Every day? France, Netherlands, Bulgaria, Czechia, Portugal? Portugal is only here. Why did they point out Portugal as the first one? And then this one is here. Why? But then they go on a weekly basis in the article. I don't understand any of this. They go on a weekly basis. Almost half of the population consumes alcohol in Netherlands. And this is closely followed by Luxembourg and Belgium, right? But then you go here and you go to weekly. And it's like, okay, Malta? Are we not going? Why? But also, how is like Netherlands so high here, but also not really high here? Where's France here? Like we drink daily, but then we don't drink weekly. How did they do any of this? And then you look at monthly. And it's like monthly consumption was highest in Lithuania and Latvia, which, by the way, if you remember, had the lowest daily. Right? The daily was 1% in Latvia and Lithuania. But then here it's like monthly consumption highest in Lithuania and Latvia and Cyprus. What do they mean by that? What do they mean? How, by the way, it isn't? How do they mean? What is this? What is any of this? I don't see any of this. And then the best thing, then they go, Croatia reported the highest share of population who never consumed alcohol or had not consumed any in the last 12 months, which, by the way, if this were true, it would prove Croatians are fucking liars, okay? No chance we would be leading up in this one. But no, we're not. Even if you look just at European Union member states, no, we're not the highest ones. What do you mean? I don't get it. I assumed it's percentage. I assumed it would be like what I'm getting this. I don't know if the article was just written horribly. What I understood this as was like it's a percentage thing. So, for example, 1.5 population of France drinks alcohol daily. That's how I understood it. 1.5 population of Netherlands drinks alcohol daily, right? That's how I've seen it. So like it's 48.0% of Netherlands drinks alcohol weekly, which means that it's once per week. But like I don't understand why these numbers don't match these numbers. I don't understand why the sentence doesn't match these numbers. It would make sense to me otherwise, maybe, but even then even then it would make no sense, right? Because even if you say, if people have like 3 choices to pick, and it's like, I drink alcohol daily, weekly, monthly, right? If you want to say, most people who picked the monthly option were in Lithuania and Latvia. So you would say these countries drink the least alcohol, right? I could see that. But then, like, what? Cyprus drinks more daily than these two do? Drink 2 times a month? Where would you fall? You would fall into monthly, right? And also, why does the Croatian Share not make any sense? What did they mean by 38.3%? And also it's not even 38.3, isn't it like 37? I think it was 37, right? How does that make any sense? Where is it? 37.9, yeah. Isn't here in less than a month? Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna look into that one. This is making no sense. This is making no sense. Yeah, no way the 38% of Croatians don't drink, definitely. No way 88% of Turkish people don't drink, by the way. I'm calling bullshit on this one. I'm calling bullshit on this one. Because I know in Bosnia, situation would seem similar. I know if you ask people in Bosnia, if you ask proper Bosniaks, you would also have around 90% of them telling you they don't drink. They do drink, they just mask it. They do drink. Bosnia is a beautiful country where you can go and you can order a coffee and they put a shot of alcohol inside the coffee so no one sees what you're drinking, but you know what you're drinking. I'm not buying into the idea Turkey is not the same. I think we all have a drive to be alcoholics. You can't prove them wrong because you don't understand what exactly they got wrong. That's true. I don't know what they did. So then I didn't do my writing because, yeah. I was looking at these numbers all the time. I looked at the bar thing because I thought the bar thing would make more sense. It doesn't. The bar thing is exactly the same. It's just different. But like same fucking shit, okay? Still like, how did they reach the conclusion? I part of me is like, maybe they just gave ChatGPT this thing and they told him to write the article, or if did they just write the article and they were like, let's see, so fact check this. I don't know what they did, but yeah. Look at us! Look at us! What? Compared to all available countries? Pfft, bullshit. I moved to Bosnia now. Good luck. Good luck, good luck. Bosnians are doing interesting things recently. I maybe would, I mean, maybe it would be a smart idea. Maybe not. Depends. Haven't drunk vodka or other strong alcohol for a few years. Oh, I was only drinking beer too. I have an empty beer can. Look at this. Go to Duff Beer. Go to the Simpsons one. It was kind of cool. Also tried Corona this weekend. It was good. It was good. I saw a message, by the way, and then I lost it. Oh, car bomb that killed the daughter of Putin ally Alexander Dugin was smuggled into Russia in a hidden compartment of a cat crate. How did we know that? Oh. Oh wait, they still think that those Ukrainians killed her. According to officials who provided the details, raging shadow war, in which Ukrainian spy services have also twice bombed the bridge connecting Russia to occupied Crimea, pelted drones into the roof of Kremlin, and blown holes in the hulls of Russian naval vessels in the Black Sea. Oh shit, those killed include a former Russian submarine commander jogging in the park. You remember that one? You remember that one? And a militant blogger at Cafe Ao Tatarsky. RIP. Ukraine's affinity for lethal operations has complicated its collaboration with the CIA, raising concerns about agency complicity and creating unease among some officials in Kyiv and Washington. Man, I still don't know if Dugina was a victim of Ukrainians. Man, I don't know. She just seems fucking useless. Do you think they just killed it to like flex with the fact they could kill someone? Is that useless? Yeah, killing the daughter of a pro firebrand is very cynical. Yeah, like why would you kill Dugina? Waste of a bomb. Abraham Isaac Cooks. Yeah, I haven't really seen anything. How do I say it? Too unexpected. Haven't seen anything too unexpected. Do you have like specific parts of his theology that you are interested in analyzing? No, net positive definitely. Net positive definitely. I'm not mourning her death. I'm just like, why waste a bomb? You know? Why waste a bomb? You have other people to waste a bomb on. Why waste a bomb on her? She wasn't anything. There was no point to her explosion. She was just that. Her father for the humans, yeah, but like then you also had like you had for example Soloviev, you had Simonyan. We go to the name. What's the Krasny dude name? Got people like that. I don't know if she was that strong. I don't know if she was that important in her own right. You know what I mean? Like Shaman, for example. Could see that one. Could see that one getting exploded. Dugina? Yeah, no. Maybe it's me coming from like outside of Russian area of the world. Maybe in Russia she was actually a really well-known person. Maybe that's the difference. Because from my position, it's like she was useless, and so was Dugin in my eyes. Most of the things I see people talking about Dugin, most of it comes from Westerners talking about Dugin. I very rarely see Dugin actually presented as someone important by, you know, anyone who is actually existing in the same part of the world. Whenever I saw Ukrainians commenting on this, for example, I was mostly seeing them being salty about how Westerners are overplaying Dugin's importance. How Western news were calling him, you know, Putin's version of Rasputin and stuff like that. And he really wasn't. He really wasn't. He was just like some dude. People presented him as like central to Russia's plan to invade Ukraine. And he really wasn't, right? So even if the bomb was intending to get rid of him, I don't know how much utility that would provide. But then, no. Settling the land of Israel will be a redemptive force in and of itself before the Messiah comes. Oh! It would mean people following his theology are wanting to push what Israel as a Jewish state too, right? Because they see it as something needed. Required in a way, correct? Oh, what is that? As of my last knowledge update in September 2021, the country that consumed the most alcohol per week could change over the time due to various factors. Historically, some of the countries with higher alcohol consumption rates include Belarus, Lithuania, and Moldova. Oh shit! To find the most updated information on alcohol consumption, you should refer to sources like the World Health Organization or other relevant health and statistical agencies. The worst thing is that like it makes sense to me that they would be doing tracking of alcohol consumption per capita. What doesn't make sense to me is that they would write it like this, which I don't really think makes any sense. I wish they were writing it in a way that makes a bit more sense than this thing. Oh yeah, see, branding Dugin, for example, is Putin's brain. I just saw that message. Branding Dugin as Putin's brain, I'm not really buying that. not really buying that. I think it's a very dramatic view of a man who was largely existing. Shtenenko, I actually haven't. Was it good? Does he have subtitles already? Theology? Well, look at it this way. My position... Oh, Arthur. I'm not a religious person at all, right? So, damn, I'm getting some interesting videos. So wait, give me a second. I'm not really a religious person, so for me it's like theological learnings, none of them really make sense to me, and I would love for them all to be abolished. I think all of them are creating problems. I don't think prophecies are real. I don't think prophecies matter. Like, I read that and I'm like, okay, I see why some people believing into this theology might be hard to reason with, because they believe that a Jewish state of Israel is needed in order to encourage not encourage, but prepare the world for the coming of Messiah, right? I understand why people believing in it may be hard to reason with. I understand why when you're talking about, the possibility of this one. I understand why propaganda is nice. This one. Why? If you want to have a reasonable discussion about these people into these types of things, are going to be hard to take seriously, or to create room for any negotiations. I haven't heard of Dugina even once before her death. I have no idea why you would waste time on killing her. Yeah, it's like that for me with Dugin too, to be honest, because he wasn't really exceptional in the things he is, unfortunately, still saying. He's not really an exceptional man. Have you followed his posts around? Did he make a Twitter post recently or something? I'm pretty sure he made a Twitter post recently with like predictions how this war is going to go. It was just a useless post, you know what I mean? Like calling him Putin's brain or calling him Rasputin or whatever, it kind of makes no sense to me. Because the man genuinely has no... anything, really, in his existence. There's nothing there. It's not like his... thinking is somehow, should somehow be seen as unique. Basically, what I say it is, he is one of the shit eaters among a group of shit eaters. I don't think things that he says are things that other shit eaters would not also come up with. What he is doing is basically anti-West. It's basically anti-Western rhetoric. That's it. Nothing really deeper there, So then people go like, oh yeah, he created Putin's ideology. Come on. Come on. I don't know. I'm not really seeing the importance of that man. Let me see that.
Є у них там такий пропагандист, який працює на каналі Соловйова, Сатановський, який, звісно, ненавидить
Сатановський, of course.
наших союзників.
В Прибалтике не останется ничего. Потому что Прибалтика это плацдарм, такой же плацдарм и полигон войны с Россией, как и Україна.
Так ось у цього пропагандиста дуже сильно накипіло від постійних невдач так званої Росії, і він обматюкав російську владу, причому буквально.
Сильно спившийся замминистра Богданов, который еще в Каире послом бухал как не в себя.
Наїхав він іще на Захарову, теж її обізвав, обматюкав Медведєва.
Man, he needs to start putting proper English translations again. These ones are shit.
Тому що йому здається, що на так званій Росії є свобода, нема тоталітаризму.
И никто не затыкает рот ни мне, ни Кедме, ни Сосновскому, того же Володе Соловьеву. Мы гораздо более открыты сейчас. все-таки у нас нет тоталитаризма.
І буквально одразу після його заяв його вигнали із телеканалу Соловйова.
Принял решение об увольнении Евгения Ивановича Сатановского с нашего канала.
І оця історія насправді дуже і дуже цікава, тому що вона не тільки про одного окремо узятого пропагандиста, який влип у скандал, і навіть не про кохання між жабами та гадюками, а й про те, як так звана Росія виступає проти Ізраїлю і підтримує терористів Хамас. Тому на цьому відео будуть іще субтитри на івриті. І про усе це детально ми із вами зараз поговоримо, але для початку нагадую, вам варто підписатися на мій канал, якщо ви досі цього не зробили,
Fair.
і натиснути лайк до цього відео та лишити під ним будь-який коментар. Російський пропагандист Сатановський зробив дуже
Sends a
велику
message and it's a good
виснажливу
practice.
заслугу усій російській пропаганді. Пам'ятаєте, вони там
Kind of like sending drones to Kremlin, right?
передавала зброю Хамас.
Did nothing useful really, but it makes Russians shit themselves. So it's worth it, right? I see it in that sort of a way.
Ця істота пішла набагато далі за офіційну російську пропаганду і видала, що начебто Хамас озброював сам Ізраїль.
Есть бешеная финансовая составляющая всего происходящего. Просто по баблу между Хамасом и израильским начальством. Он, значит, всего Израиля лет через 10-15 максимум не будет.
Але це насправді був тільки початок,
Оу.
тільки розігрів, тому що далі посипалась критика вже у бік російської влади. Ну як критика? Відверті матюки.
Никто не пытается адвокатировать Хамас, кроме отдельно взятых.
Мы полностью поддерживаем действия Палестины, потому что их земли.
Чей союзник Иран и тот мусульманский мир, который вокруг него. Наш.
Те антисемиты, которые во власти, страшно оживились, это понятно.
Виявилося, що у російській владі є антисеміти, неймовірно. Тобто ті самі, які
Surprise.
розповідали весь час про денацифікацію, виявилися антисемітами. Та й не тільки у російській владі, насправді, навіть серед рядових пропагандистів.
Стесняться смысла нет, и надо Хамасу предоставить всю возможную помощь, которую им необходима.
І навіть серед так званої російської опозиції картина абсолютно та сама.
Что общего между вагоном с бетоном и вагоном с маленькими еврейскими младенцами мертвыми?
А що спільного є між російським солдатом та зламаним годинником? Вони обидва не можуть ходити. Що спільного є між Мікеланджело та Владленом Татарським?
I don't know that
Вони
one.
обидва любили скульптури. Я вірю, що для кожного російського пропагандиста іще знайдеться свій Оскар. Ну і власне про Захарову. Про Захарову Сатановський наговорив дуже багато. З'ясувалося, що вона антисемітка, любить кохання за гроші і багато п'є.
Вот Маш Захарова, которая...
I mean, we knew all of this.
в принципе, евреев не особо
New information.
Израиль терпеть не может.
Так это и есть то, о чем мы говорим, ксенофобия, нацизм, экстремизм во всех видах.
Еще одна сильно выпивающая, который у нас, тем не менее, спикер нашего МИДа.
Це той рідкісний випадок, коли російський пропагандист дійсно сказав правду. І за цю правду його вже вигнали із каналу Соловйова, а іще один пропагандист, який свого часу закликав вбивати українських дітей, почав йому погрожувати і сказав, що Захарова, вона взагалі-то не така. Вона нікого не любить за гроші і взагалі зовсім не п'є. Ну, ви знаєте, дивлячись на її пику, я би так не сказав. Хоча, можливо,
course.
вона дійсно не п'є, тому що коли вона казала, що російська армія б'ється насправді насамперед за африканські інтереси, вона напевно вживала щось дуже важке.
Вы разве не видите, что наши ребята
Fair.
отдают свои жизни, а жизнями своими отстаивают право не только африканского континента, а всех людей на нашей планете быть свободными.
Пропагандиста Сатановського було вже не зупинити. І
Man, it's
наступною
amazing
жертвою
how cheap
його
the
матюків
words
став
are.
Медведєв. Він сказав, що Медведєв насправді
Out
маленький,
of all the people.
нікчемний шматочок Владимира Путіна, точніше шматочок із його чемоданчика.
Мелкая, слабенькая.
О-хо-хо-хо.
Поставить. Он Медведев был принят.
Та й сам Владимир Путін, він також як отой самий чемоданчик, як його вміст. Але про Путіна Сатановський усе ж таки казав більш обережно, тому що боїться сісти.
Путину до зарезу. Нужны иранцы, арабы, турки. И он утирается, вымывается вне зависимости от того, что происходит.
Masha needs less
Теми же
drink.
кухнями. У меня отдельная
Also less banking for money, I guess.
того, как он управляет страной и как он подбирает кадры.
Власне, після оцього інтерв'ю пропагандиста Сатановського його вигнали із каналу Соловйова. Ви про це знаєте. Здійнявся величезний скандал, там багато інших
Is he gonna get drafted now?
обурені, але сам Сатановський сказав, що він ні про що не шкодує, а на те, що його звільнили, йому в принципі пофіг.
Я никогда не жалею ни о чем в этой жизни. Вообще ни о чем. Ну, а чисто формально, то пофігу мені.
І оця історія, вона чудова. Хоча б тому, що російський пропагандист визнав, що російська влада...
What do they do? What do they do? Like, if you look at Satanovsky, this man, is he something? How many news do they have on this? You know what I'm trying to guess? These people. I mean, we've seen several clips of Russians analyzing the situation on the ground, right? You guys know they weren't really educated, okay? Like, I don't know what's a better way to say it, but like they weren't really educated, they weren't really knowledgeable. They were nothing really better than watching random ass Twitter accounts if you wanted war analysis. What does he do now that he has been removed from his position? He could get drafted. He still is the drafting age, isn't it? He still is the drafting age. And wait, did I click on the proper one? He still could fit. He still could go to the front line. He may be having to. Lord Grisha. Grisha is a baby. Grisha, have you seen this, by the way? They're using extra old cars. Grisha is a baby. Grisha is a child. Grisha is like 11 years old. I don't know. But him on the front line...
And we begin this week with a clown of a news because the Russians used their Wunderwaffe to charge Avdiivka. Yes, the Battle of Avdiivka is still ongoing. And what Russians used to charge that settlement, you won't believe. You wouldn't see it in your
I will
wildest
believe because I saw
dreams.
it.
And we have a video
Loser.
right here, so let's check it out together. I can only tell you that this has never been used in this war before. Look at what they're using for the assault, lads. Look carefully. This is an assault on Pervomayorsk, on Polutorka. Oh, artillery began. Well, first of all, this is a Russian assault on one of the settlements very close to Avdiivka, in the Avdiivka vicinity. Russians are attacking with a convoy and a column of vehicles, of course, as they do. But you notice there's no armored vehicles here. It's trucks. That's not even the funniest part. They assault with trucks. We'll get to it, wait. We'll be burning like a lighter. Where are they going? They're moving towards Almaz. Are they immortal? It's a good question because you would not use trucks, which are considered a soft target in the military, to assault one of the best defended
They're not. Fuck.
fortifications in
They
this
looked a bit
war.
different from the image.
You gotta ask.
But I
Do you
hoped
think
they
are
would still be
immortal?
that.
Now, my friends, they said, "Oh, Polutorka. They're using Polutorka. What is
Decent cars.
Pum, 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 pum,
Yeah, I
pum,
saw
pum.
this.
is
I saw this. And I was like, man, it would actually be sad. It would actually be fucking sad. Imagine. Can you imagine how much this is worth in a museum? Because they look good, and especially in a condition to drive around.
Polutorka,
You
my
could
friends.
sell
Yes,
that
they're
for a
using
lot of
this.
cash.
It is produced somewhere in the 1930s. It was used. It's pre-World War II. And of course, if it works and rolls, you can use it. But I mean, what the hell? The fact that they are using
What the
this,
hell?
I will now reenact the mine process, and you will know what's coming. Ivan, since you are Tolmayobo soldier, I will put you in charge of military museum. You are so stupid you cannot go to front. Here, look at these old relics. You will be in charge of showing these relics to people. Так точно, командир. I show relic to people. Commander is so proud of me. But we have huge losses on the front and we have not taken Avdiivka. Hey, but I have military museum. I have military hardware. Ivan has capability to change outcome of war. I send Polutorka to the front. Ivan will get medal for bravery. Good, Ivan. No army in the world would use trucks made in the 30s if they would have another choice. So what this gives us
It's in the last Semenko video.
Russians are feeling the attrition of
Man.
Ukrainians hunting their logistical trucks.
Kind of want to see it now. Kind of want to see that. We're gonna look at that. I want to see what they have.
Polutorka comes out of the museum only if you don't have it.
Zil 157 was that?
My friends, on Saturday, my documentary about my latest trip to Ukraine came out. There we shot weapons with the special forces, and it's a new fundraiser for Kamikaze.
Oh, some okay fancy one.
Go to these very same special forces. If you have not seen it, please go and watch it. The link is in the description below. With this fundraiser, every one of you has a direct ability to change the outcome of this war. This is the most direct way to do it. Also, if you want content like this, it is all up on my Instagram. Link is also in the
Lada Niva?
description below.
Was horrible.
The battle of Avdiivka is still ongoing. Avdiivka for Russians, for some reason,
I don't
has
have
been
any
declared
experiences.
Bakhmut
I had
number
golf.
2. It doesn't
One.
have that great of a military value. Well, of
Was
course
great.
It has some military value, but not enough to lose 5,000 knocked out cold soldiers on one settlement. Obviously, the tactics doesn't work, but Russia continues it for the second week already. Now, this report comes from the spokesperson of the 110th Ukrainian Brigade. Spokesperson is Anton Gotsukon. I will read it to you. Russians are digging tunnels in Avdiivka
Oh shit,
to
I
get
saw this.
closer to the Ukrainian positions. Firstly, for the purpose of camouflage, and secondly, to emerge somewhere closer to our positions unexpectedly. What he also noted, I mean, the tunnels are crazy already. This means they cannot advance on the ground. They have to go under the ground. They will try everything. Of course, they cannot also advance. in
As
the
long
air
as it
because
works, it's
they
a
will be
problem.
shot down. But the next thing he noted is also a first in this war, like Polutorka. He noted that Russians have been seen used remote-controlled robotic transport vehicles. So vehicles who carry troops and ammunition and equipment without needing a driver. This is some high-tech next generation thing.
Oh, how did they get that?
And 110th Brigade reports having seen that. No, I don't doubt that it's maybe one or two vehicles. They don't have a massive fleet of those, but wow, wow, I have to say.
Wow.
I would have thought that it will be over by now. 1.5 weeks it's going on. Russians are using the same tactic of using men and dumb iron to be thrown away in this meat grinder. And here we have a thorough analysis of the Russian losses, their physical locations, geolocated locations, detailedly put on photos. It's made by Clement Molin from Twitter, so his link is in the description below.
Clement.
You can see him on the screen. It's all his work. I will read you the thread, and it gives us great overview of the Russian losses in trying to take Avdiivka. In the space of 10 days, the Russian army lost 117 armored vehicles in its attacks between Avdiivka and Novomikhailivka. 81 of them only in the attack on Avdiivka. The massacre began in early October in another village much further south. 21 pieces of equipment.
I wanted to
lost
make a
in
joke
attack
about them already using horses,
Let's quickly look at these losses.
but I don't know if you guys have the same joke about dumb people being horses. Do you do that?
So as you can see, the Russians have
Like when someone's behaving really dumb, they call him a horse.
Usually led by a tank. Let's say there's 10 infantry fighting vehicles and one tank in a group. They advance together.
Classic Lavrov, heck yeah.
Bunched together. And as you can
He will never get
the lines
mobilized.
are very short, meaning they don't go very far because these fields are mined. They have short-in positions of Ukrainian
You don't.
artillery and Ukrainian anti-tank
It's a boomer
missiles.
thing here where
Looking at these kill boxes,
someone's acting very stupid and you call them a horse and they respond, well, a horse is a noble animal. It's like a boomer joke type of a thing.
Knocked out cold Russian armor.
That and with a
And we're
donkey
just
too.
getting started.
You do
Very
something
good.
dumb.
Now on this photo,
Someone
you can
calls
see
you
the
a
Russian
donkey,
assault from
and
Pishti
you
towards
respond with,
Permavai.
"Oh well, a
3 tanks
donkey
knocked out cold, as
carried
well as
Jesus
4
on his
infantry
back."
fighting vehicles, including 2 BMPs and 1 Ural truck and 1 TOS-1.
Very boomerish.
Which is a thermobaric Russian
Coat?
weapon system. It is weird that they are
Call
using
people
Ural
coats.
trucks at all. Like tanks should be there, infantry fighting vehicles, and the thermobaric TOS-1.
Hey, you're a
But not
coat.
Ural trucks at all. On an offensive operation, you don't use trucks at all, ever. I don't know why the Russians do it. Polutorka, yes. On the southern axis of Avdiivka, 3 assaults happened. One to the east, one which turns around.
By the way,
which
he
on
has
the
that
east,
silly
2
hairstyle
damaged
thing.
by first-person view drones. One which advances and is destroyed. 4 tanks, 9 PMP 1, 2, and 3s. 3 MTLBs plus 2 Ukrainian T-64s, and these 2 Ukrainian T-64s are the only armored losses of Ukraine in the Battle of Avdiivka. Well, it does make sense. Ukraine has also losses, but they're not in armor because Ukraine defends its positions not with armor, but with mortars, artillery, and fortified infantry positions. Why would you use armor extensively on a defensive position? Of course,
Makes
you
sense.
can use dog-in tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, but this is not what they're made for. And if you're trying to fight or fighting like Ukraine, according mostly to NATO standards, you don't use your armor like that. I'm glad to see that. Russians do use their tanks as artillery on the frontal positions.
Like
Defensive.
goat.
They dig in the tanks and they shoot them like artillery, and that wears out the barrels.
Hey, you're a
very fast,
goat.
and there are no
I've never
new
heard a
barrels.
proper
It's a raw
response to
and
that one. We use the same
and
one.
now, my friends, we're getting to the
Use a
juicy
goat,
part.
you use a
North of
cow,
Avdiivka
we use a
was the
chicken.
favorite Russian place for assault operations, and they did most
I don't think we
of
have
it.
boomer answers to that.
Everything, every armored
We just have them
vehicle
for
had in the
horses and
area
donkeys.
is there. And as you can see from the photos, drone footage confirming the knocking out cold of all of these vehicles. 67, all of which are not shown on
I've
this
seen some
photo,
of these are from
67
older
losses confirmed on drone footage.
fights, by the way, so don't get too hyped.
This is insane. On this photo we can see the path the Russian vehicles took. They started, yellow line can go, of course it turns to the left and then to the it turns to the west and then to the south, and as you can see, the closer it gets to the Ukrainian held territory, the losses begin. And these roads are mined. Although they are under Russian occupied area, Ukrainians have remote controlled mining robots laying anti-tank mines without putting infantry in danger. This is insane because they can do that at night. So the Russians think, okay, this is our occupied territory, there is no mines, full throttle, and boom, knocked out cold.
And boom.
So a lot of these losses, although the Russian occupied territory, are still Ukrainian anti-tank mines, which is
Nice.
what the hell. And now, my friends, we get to the newest Battle of Avdiivka. This happened only yesterday, actually. This is Krasnogorivka, north from Avdiivka. The red line shows the front line between Russian and Ukrainian held areas. And as you can see, a huge mass of Russian armored vehicles crossed into the no man's land onto this field right here. And I'll show you, I'll go to Krasnogorivka, and this is the field right here.
Oh, okay.
I'll zoom out also, you can see where it is. This one, it is a kill zone. It is mined to oblivion. It has kill boxes shot in for Ukrainian artillery. It has firing sectors for Ukrainian Stuna crews. It has first-person view drones hovering above it. Ukrainian recon drone is always in the air. And then there is just infantry also aiming at this. It's a full kill box, and Russians sent all of their armor into this field.
Nice,
As
okay.
you can see, they advanced in 3 different columns, and by these losses, we can actually tell where the mines are laid. No mines in this area, very close to the Russian lines, but then...
I mean, how does he know? What if there's also mines there?
Line, however you call it,
It's just the
goes
tanks didn't go there.
break right here from north to south.
How do you know this? How would you make this guess?
You can see most of the vehicles did not advance any further. These ones knocked out cold before probably didn't even reach the mines. Now these are drone footages of the very same fields And just to show you that all of this is visually confirmed, nothing is made up here. Some of the vehicles were knocked out cold
Nice.
on the Russian-occupied windbreak.
Oh, this is a cool video. Have you seen this video, by the way?
Ukrainians, of course, can strike
This is a
there
betrayal
also.
video.
And it's
He
a
pushes
cluster
him
of
onto a
Russian
mine.
vehicles. Other vehicles advancing in the position see what happened to the comrades just before them yesterday, and they still go. They still
It's a murder-suicide
So
video.
how do these huge Russian losses north of Avdiivka mirror in the Russian
Mirror.
losses in the past 24 hours? Here they are, 23rd of October. 870 Russian infantry knocked out cold, 12 tanks, 22 armored personnel vehicles, 25 artillery systems, 7 special equipment, and 15 vehicles and fuel tanks. Now these 15 vehicles and fuel tanks might be the reason why we see Polutorka, the truck produced in the 30s, used on assault on a
He's so happy for
because
that
every time
possibility.
I look at these losses, vehicles and fuel tanks are always very high. Ukrainians are hunting them. Well, they're hunting everything, but taking out the Russian truck fleet means attrition for the Russian frontline units, means less artillery missions, less assault operations, less Ukrainian casualties. And this is what we're
For
seeing
real.
right now. Just to hammer in the point,
This
is
one.
British Ministry of Defense update on Ukrainian war yesterday. Recent Russian assaults in Avdiivka have contributed
He's
to
not
a
showing us the video.
90% increase in Russian casualties recorded by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. So almost 100% increase in Russian casualties. It is likely that Russia has suffered 150,000 to 190,000 permanent casualties since the conflict began, with the total figure including temporarily wounded in the region of 240,000 to 290,000. So it is very similar to what Ukraine is reporting. This does not include Wagner Group or their prisoner battalions who fought in Bakhmut, which is an additional 25,000 knocked out cold. So we have British Ministry of Defense intelligence report confirming the Ukrainian intelligence report of Russian losses. And now to hammer in that point even more, we have a report from one of the Russian military bloggers' Telegram channels, Fire Bomber, and I'll read you what he writes. The very first losses of our aviation in the special military operation were from our own air defense on the very first day of the war. I think our last crew shot down in the war will also be by our own air defense. Hey, what the hell?
Wait, was there something new? Was there a new one shot down by Russians?
Yeah, tell me about it. The reason for the loss is repeated. Yes, deceased crews are awarded the Order of Courage. Of course they are. In Russia, you have to die to be somebody. In the army also. Air defense crews who shot down these choppers are awarded the Order of Courage a little later.
So everyone gets
and
orders.
So on in a circle. And I know this is like that because
Nice.
I've seen it. I already made and reenacted this fun story for you that Ivan shot his own tank to get the Medal of Courage and 500,000 rubles for it. As I understand it, this suits everyone except the pilots. Moreover, we have to dodge our missiles more and more often, and there is no light at the end of the tunnel.
Good.
The Russian
It'll get to
Blue
us.
Fire indicates for us that their communication channels have decreased. That their overview and understanding of the situation on the battlefield has decreased. Only the top-notch commanders perhaps know, perhaps even they don't know, but the local air defense crews have no idea who is up in the air because they have no direct communication. They have no middleman also for the communication. The United States Army is perfect with this. Relying comms between different army branches, US is really good at this compared to other militaries. I know that if you are from United States military, whichever branch you're from, you have some things to say about that, about other branches. But if you compare
Share military secrets if you're from USA. Come on, give us something.
There's huge rivalries to the point that they will shoot down their own planes and choppers. And my friends, now a video coming from Dimitri or War Translated. I want to show you because I like the way Ukrainians think on this. This shows you their innovativeness and ability to think outside the box directly. Here is the flooring. It's obviously a Ukrainian trench leading up to something. And boom, we have a mortar position in a trench, and I can see there's a roof on top of it. One moment. Here we have 6 wheels.
Oh, so it like opens? Whoosh.
nothing will leak. Front visor goes down. And bada bim, bada boom, the roof goes off. Yeah, open fire and close. Wonderful. Very simple thing to do, very easy thing to do. But to do it, you need to think about it first. And this is where Ukrainians and Russians differ. I'm glad to see this. I like small videos like this. It really shows you in small detail the difference between mindsets of Russians and Ukrainians on the front line. And now, my friends, your favorite.
Nice, that was cool. I like that. That was cool. That was cool. It just like goes over that. That's kind of cool. Hey, yo, Gustavo, how's life going? How is live? Is this the one? Where's the murder suicide one? I need to show you the murder suicide one. I need to show you the specific one.
What is this? Was it a microphone? Dude,
Oh no, what is this? Slippers, what is this?
That is not a microphone. What is it? How do you turn it on?
Slippers, what sort of YouTubers do you watch? Slippers. Slippers, what sort of Twitch streamers do you watch? Slippers. What's your recommended section like? You can stream combat footage, you can't stream a show casualties. You know why they are actually, you know, seen on the screen? It can't show bodies, can't show bodies. I think explosions are okay, or at least so far they have been okay. So far I haven't really seen people get into troubles with that. So, well, I'm trying to find you the murder suicide one. If I don't find it in like 5 seconds, I'm just gonna talk to you about alcohol in Europe. But I would love to see that one. It was a good video. It was a good video. It's like a full-on betrayal by one tank of the other. Just the whole. He just pushes him. He just pushes him a little bit, and he explodes. I mean, they both do. They both do. Not. Who the hell knows? One day I'm gonna be able to find it. One day I'm going to learn how to save videos that I want to save, to have them saved around. I mean the one where there's like 2 of them and one pushes the other. I don't know how better to explain it, but there's 2 of them. By the way, have you seen this video? I have another video that you need to see. While I'm looking for the explosion one. Have you seen this video? I shared it to Discord. Really important. Really important, okay? Talking about betrayal. Have you seen this one?
From one of your favorite streamers that I found.
Oh my god! Fuck you, dude! How'd you do that to me? That's so offensive! Go back to
Come
the
on.
seats right now!
Come on.
Okay, I'm going. Bye.
Yeah. She got a Hassan shirt.
Export, not export. What's the word?
Oh, deport.
Deported the fuck away.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I knew you would like it, so.
I know, I think she's small, but also I don't know. I don't know, she's cute. So I think in my mind I see her as tiny. I don't know. Being mainly educated by Hassan. Listen. Where else would we Europeans found the video? Where else would we Europeans be getting our information from, if not from Hassan? You think when I try to learn what's going on in Croatia, you think I learned from Croatian news? No, I go to Hassan. I'm like, hey Hassan, what do you think about Milanovic? This one. See how he pushes him? That. And their ass still would be No. How dare you speak badly about our European educator. How dare you do that, okay? From the man who brought you Turkey and Greece are having dogfights over the border every once in a while. Smartass? I've got no idea actually. This one, right? I'm not sure. I know they've been going around together. I don't know who he is. Our landmine indeed. American glowies? What's a glowy? My knowledge is free to them though, yeah. Look, they're there's a way to say this. If an American allows you to educate them, you must be aware you're standing in presence of something very rare. Because usually, what happens is they ask you for your opinion as a European, and you share your opinion, and they go, no. They go, no, you're full of shit. They go, I know better. Because I actually know how USA is central to the universe and to this conflict, and you don't. Corpse pile tactic works. It's fair. Russia still hasn't lost a single decent human being. Ooh, actually, I think that makes me sad, unironically. Because I remember when people were talking about Bakhmut, and when we were seeing posts of people going into Bakhmut, and then you see how many people we have lost there and everything, and how good people they were. If people abandoned their entire lives, left behind their families to go into fight, and then they get into fire by goddamn convicts. How goddamn depressing is that? How goddamn fucking depressing is that when you look at it? People who had really good lives, people who were really, really useful, people who were amazing, go and have to fight fucking trash of humanity. Every life lost will never be repaid. Just incredibly sad. Incredibly sad. Hey, actually, I saved a video. By the way, where is he? Spaniel published a video on how Gaza crisis will change the war in Ukraine. He published it I opened it 31 seconds after it was published. So I was thinking of looking into that one. But then I was thinking about showing you the alcohol videos, because I have to show you my alcohol content. I saved a bunch of alcohol content.
Nobody likes.
And we're not doing that, and that makes me sad, okay? US? Cool, is that? Yeah. I mean, I have to pay, what was it? €9.55 a month. I'm paying that. I'm poor. I'm not paying that shit, okay? I don't have that amount of money. If it was like €3, anything around €5 or less, I would have been like, yeah, okay. $9.55. Yeah, I'll probably have to get VPN. I'll probably have to do that.
Likes crossover episodes, and yet here we are. The world is now focused on two conflicts. Well, one more than another, but we will get to that. Naturally, one wonders how the outbreak of war in the Gaza Strip affects Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and vice versa. And indeed, that is our subject for today. The conventional wisdom is that this is bad news for Ukraine, because it will divide Washington's
you know what I'm gonna do?
Between the two conflicts.
I'm gonna make a thing
but just
where
how bad
you gotta do a tier 2 sub.
We will begin with the good news for the world overall.
That would make no sense financially for you. You gotta do tier 1 sub, and if you do tier 1 sub, you get added to the family, and then we have a joint premium YouTube.
For Ukraine. Nevertheless, There are some
How much
odd
is it, like
ways where the
14
Second
something?
War could benefit Kyiv. Justification for expanding artillery production capacity in Western countries. Allowing for vote linkages
Approximately,
in the US
yeah.
Congress.
Woodwork.
Pushing the unhelpful 24/7 news cycle to something else. And diverting supply-constrained Iranian resources. Oh, and be prepared for me saying capacity constraints way too many times. But we begin with the happy note that we are not yet moving to nuclear apocalypse politics.
Yay!
This point is easy to miss. It seems like a line is being drawn. Well, not a very clean one, but a line nonetheless, with Russia on one side and the West on the other. Ukraine has partnered with the West, while Iran has partnered with Russia. Meanwhile, Israel and Iran have a long-running rift, and Israel is so entrenched with the West that it caucuses with the Western European and Others group in the official United Nations geographic divisions. And yes, it actually is called that. Thus, Israel goes with the West, and Hamas appears to naturally fall in Russia's camp, just as it was during the glory days of the Cold War, and matching how the countries allocated resupply efforts during the Yom Kippur War 50 years earlier.
VPNing to Serbia?
Further solidifies. But
Few Western
Middle East
companies
allegiances
conduct
changed
business there,
as the
hence less
Soviet
ads.
Union fell apart. Prior to 2022,
Okay, that's
Israel
fair.
and Russia
No one wants
had
to be
friendly
showing their
relations,
advertisements in
with
Serbia.
Israel's often Prime Minister
Imagine you're a
Benjamin
company
Netanyahu
and a Serb buys your
making frequent
product.
trips to Moscow. This included a special 25th anniversary party for the relationship. And he even
Damn.
attended the Victory Day parade in Moscow in 2018, normally seen on this channel because of the endless photos of military hardware that it provides. Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the relationship has become more complicated.
Israel Western, Portugal Eastern?
Within
Oh.
the United Nations,
Yeah, that actually works.
Israel has voted with the Western Bloc on 5 of the 6 emergency
I'm pretty sure I would
resolutions,
trust Israel more
with
than
an
a lot of
abstention
other
on the
Western
one that
Europeans,
called for Russia
despite
to
all
make
of their
reparations
issues.
payments. However, Israel did not join the Western sanctions against Russia.
I
And
changed my
as
mind.
the Gaza
Fuck 'em.
situation heated up, Netanyahu declined an offer from Zelensky for a solidarity visit. Summarizing the position, Israel was moderately annoyed by Russia's invasion, somewhere between China and NATO on the spectrum. Meanwhile, Putin has expressed sympathy for Israel's plight with Hamas. This carries over a long-running policy push dating back to the Chechen Wars. Putin was the first leader to call George W. Bush to offer condolences and support on September 11th. It was a savvy political opportunity to unite global resistance to extremism, at a time when the Kremlin's website only uploaded potato-quality images. Sorry about that. In any case, the thing about
This is, by the way, they use this to go and butcher Chechens. They use this to go and butcher Chechens. They were like, oh, yeah. Very sorry to hear what you have been going through, USA. Very, very sorry. We had same issues with these horrible Chechens. Yes. Surely you don't judge us for going around and killing a bunch of them. We're fighting the same Muslim extremism, are we not? And they were not. Netanyahu teamed up with Putin to prolong the war against Hamas, to have a pretext to exterminate Palestinians and divert military and financial assistance to Ukraine so Russia can make progress too. The thing with diverting them though, that was always, how much military assistance does Israel even need? Am I just overplaying, over-imagining how strong Israel actually is? Because if you were to ask me right now, like, what's the strength of Israeli military, I would have thought it doesn't really need any sort of military assistance, even if it wants to go balls deep into Gaza. I'm pretty sure they need nothing. I'm pretty sure they have enough. Do they need military assistance? Why would they need military assistance? I could understand if, like, Iran gets into a war or something. I could understand if another side joins. But if it's just Israel trying to go just against Palestine, does Israel need anything? Do we have to help them? For what? They seem to be, you know, strong enough by themselves. But I don't know if the way I'm imagining Israeli military is like what Israeli military actually is. It's not really a part of the world I was too focused on.
Indiscriminate attacks is that, well, they are indiscriminate. With that in mind, it will not surprise you to find out that at least 16 Russians died in Hamas's attack. This has not exactly pleased Russia. The headline message to Israel was therefore one of sympathy for suffering an unprecedented attack. But Putin has simultaneously emphasized Moscow's even longer-running relationship with the Arab world, and has made strong pleas for Israel to moderate its response.
I think it's based on the nukes.
Thus, the battle lines are not as solidified as they may first seem. The world, in a word, is complicated. So we are not about to descend into World War III.
Wait, Israel has 487 billion GDP, Ukraine has had 200 billion in 2021. So no, I think Israel doesn't need aid compared to Ukraine now. Yeah, same. But also, like, Israel is not under, like, a direct invasion. They were victims of a terrorist attack, sure. I'm not really sure we would look at them the same way we look at Ukraine right now, you know? If Israel were to use nukes, it would overplay its hand internationally. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna use it. It's a good thing, though, to try to use as a deterrent. Now what that makes me wonder, though, how long will these things be useful as deterrents until they just aren't, and someone needs to, you know, actually use one in order for them to still be useful in that regard? Dog shit ground army. What's the ground army of Israel? Israel could stomp them. That's.
But how will the outbreak of conflict
So I
in
give them
Gaza affect what is
8.
happening in Ukraine, and vice versa? The basic perception
Why
is that
8?
this is not great news for policymakers in Kyiv. To summarize, Gaza is a distraction. Biden and other US policymakers have a limited number of hours per day. Whatever time is spent handling the situation in Israel, implicitly is time spent away from managing the problems in Ukraine. Militarily, the problem seems starker. Both Ukraine and Israel would benefit from
That's
arms
true.
assistance.
Not viable if you aren't
The
fighting
two
another
parties
country.
fighting
That also
over
makes
the
sense. Yeah,
apparently
true.
scarce
Good point.
resources of a single benefactor creates a zero-sum dynamic, where whatever goes to Ukraine does not go to Israel, and vice versa. To wit, the United States has kept a stockpile of artillery in Israel since the Yom Kippur War. I guess they don't like photos being taken there, so there was only this potato-quality image of it. Yeah, more potatoes for today. But at least the United States Navy is kind enough to supply high-quality images of actual potatoes. Anyway, the munitions belong to the US Armed Forces, but stationing them in Israel means that donations can be handed out more quickly in the event of a crisis. At some point during Russia's invasion, as Ukraine became shell-starved, the United States began transferring some of this reserve supply northward. But now, with Hamas causing a crisis in Israel, those shells would conceivably stay where they are. Still, the zero-sum framing of arms aid is misguided for a couple of reasons. The simpler of the two is that the demand for armaments between the two is not completely identical. Yes, the 155mm artillery shells will be a point of contention. But the battle spaces for Ukraine and Israel are about as distinct as they can be. Israel is right on top of Gaza. Moreover, Gaza is a strip, so the potential targets are not running very deep.
Yeah, I guess it's good
The high
designing it
population
right now.
density means that Washington is not exactly thrilled with the idea of using weapons with a wide blast radius.
Okay.
In contrast, Ukraine has large targets that it would like to hit hundreds of kilometers away. That means that a missile like ATACMS is helpful for Ukraine, while not being particularly useful for Israel. And after months of rumors, they appeared to make their debut in Ukraine shortly after the crisis in Gaza began. But the bigger point is that the United States is not capacity constrained in any meaningful sense, as both Biden and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen were both yelling to anyone in earshot about. Both the money and the potential production capacity exist to fuel two wars at the same time. Instead, the real constraints have been political. Congressional Republicans with questions about the return on the investment, and the executive branch with concerns about escalation dynamics with Russia.
Hey! Shut the fuck up.
Israel's war has few direct effects on either point. The closest issue is that much of the strife within the U.S. House of Representatives is about reducing budget expenditures. Granting larger outlays for Israel means a tighter constraint for other purposes, including what had been going to Ukraine. But Ukraine military aid is a tiny fraction of defense spending. Over the first 18 months of the war, the United States spent $46.6 billion in security assistance, weapons, and equipment, or about $30 billion per year. By comparison, U.S. military spending is about $800 billion annually. So again, it is not really money that is constraining here. It is political desire. That said, there are specific components within the broader U.S. security apparatus that will have a hard time doing two things at once. For example, the more time that U.S. intelligence uses to sort out who was responsible for bombing a hospital, the less time they can spend forwarding targets for Ukrainian missiles. Training intelligence analysts takes longer than expanding ammunition production, so there are clear short-term constraints here.
Okay.
But broadly speaking, Washington commands enough military
Short-term
power
constraints,
to
I
handle
see
two
it, but like
problems
still.
at once. This is in contrast to, say, humanitarian organizations, which are perennially underfunded and understaffed, and will struggle to handle two fronts at the same time. One place with starker problems for Ukraine is on the economic side, and involves a potential expansion of the Gaza crisis to Iran. Quick recap there. Israel was negotiating to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia. Iran and Saudi Arabia are long-running regional adversaries, though. Thus, there is speculation, but crucially no confirmation, that Iran played a role in Hamas's attack. Aside from that, Iran has made various threats about intervening in the conflict should Israel cross some alleged red lines.
Oh shit.
Or alternatively, it could use its proxy, Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, for that purpose. However, if things spiral out of control, all eyes will shift toward the Strait of Hormuz. It is this tiny little opening in the Persian Gulf. And look what is inside of it. Oil. 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 Oil everywhere. In fact, about a fifth of the world's traded oil, and a third of its liquid natural gas, is exported through the strait. If Iran wants to make a power play, it could try shutting down the shipping lanes. Whether Iran is successful in that goal or not is beside the point. Energy prices will soar either way. That matters because Russia is trying to pay for its invasion with energy exports.
Okay, that makes sense.
Russian energy still sells at a discount compared to the standard global prices, but it remains responsive to the market. If clean gas prices go up, in the political sense, not in the carbon sense, so too will dirty Russian gas. This will create a headache for the Western coalition trying to starve Russia's economy into submission, especially at a time when Russia is facing a new bout.
These types, by the way, this is kind of annoying to watch. Because so many of these things that he poses as an issue, you can just be like, you know what, how this could easily be solved if we just send Ukraine enough weapons to get this shit over with. Like if we actually send them proper game changers, if we actually send them enough equipment, we could solve this very quickly, and then we would have one less thing to worry about immediately. Huge chunk of the issue already fucking solved If we were faster previously at helping, we wouldn't have to be thinking about this bullshit. We're only now seeing just how our pussy behavior has cost us. Nothing of this would have been an issue if we had proper balls when we needed to have proper balls.
Of economic problems at home. Although the Gaza crisis may be a net negative for Ukraine, it is not all doom and gloom. Let's start by going back to the 155mm shell problem. As we have discussed before, part of the reason Ukraine is shell hungry is a mismatch in the incentives for weapons manufacturers and what the government might want. Investing in new production capacity requires an expensive upfront outlay. They are only willing to do this if they anticipate raking in the money on the back end with long-term sales. So far, it appears that manufacturers are skeptical that the war in Ukraine will last long enough
I'm
to
saying our
recoup the
balls were shitty.
investment. Meanwhile,
I'm saying,
governments have been
look at your
unwilling
balls.
to guarantee purchases that would otherwise
Notice
solve
that they
the
are
problem.
underperforming.
Given the mismatch in traditional
that.
military power, one imagines that the
Do something.
Hamas-Israel conflict will end first. Or at least what we used to call major combat operations will end first. An occupation afterward could last longer, but that requires a different weapons set. As such, I would not anticipate that arms manufacturers
You
will
very unlocked.
unilaterally invest
Are
in
you
new
from a
production
European Union
capacity
state? Because
as
if
a
you are,
consequence of it.
your balls are inherently
However,
underperforming.
if it does convince
I'm
NATO
sorry to be
leaders
the one to tell you
that
this.
stimulating investment is unavoidable to cover the short-term gaps, you might end up in a situation
USA might be the
where
only one
Ukraine
where
is
they're
the
like-
long-run beneficiary.
see
Another
that.
benefit could arise
I mean, you're a
in
Pole.
vote
They're doing
linkages
okay. They're
on
doing
the
okay.
floor of the U.S. House of Representatives.
How they measure
To
my balls
grossly
performance?
simplify congressional policy
Measure your
preferences,
response
the further you go left,
to the
the more
Russian
support
invasion.
you see
Mhm,
for
mhm,
Ukraine.
mhm.
However, Republicans hold a narrow majority in the House, and as long as they caucus together to control which legislation makes it to the floor, there are not enough staunchly pro-Ukraine moderate Republicans to overcome that deficit. This is despite a supermajority of Americans supporting Ukraine, and even a narrow plurality within the Republican Party doing the same. It is worth
Your
noting
balls
here, though,
can't
that the
pull,
questions about
ladies.
expanding
How
aid
do you
are
think
more
ladies are
nuanced,
pulled?
particularly on the
You think
Republican
that's what
side.
successful
But interpreting those pulls is
sluts
difficult, because maintaining
of a
aid
man
levels
do?
will require continued resolutions for a stream
You think
of
that's how
funds.
Destiny
It
gets a
turns
bunch of
out
women in
that
his
when
bed?
you
He
fight wars,
wiggles his balls around?
surprisingly, things
No.
get destroyed and need to
No.
be replaced.
You gotta learn. You gotta
In any
learn.
case,
I know
the
lots
result
of
has been
men
congressional pushback
who
against
have
deeper Ukraine spending.
not lots. I
The
know a
upshot
couple
is
of
that
men
the further right you go, the
who
stauncher
have
support you see for
underperforming
Israel.
balls.
Given that the United States is not
and still
monetarily
manage to pull a lot.
constrained, this opens up the possibility
It's not
for
about the
funding
balls.
bills to
It's not
combine
about the
together
balls
issues.
that
In
you
other
carry.
words,
It's about the balls
whereas
that are
funding
within
bills
you.
in isolation could face difficulties passing the House,
Meloni is single.
the Senate, and the Oval Office. A combined spending bill
Is she
could
looking
obtain
for
bipartisan
adventures?
support. In that sense, the
Is she
Gaza
willing to
crisis
try out
does not
something new?
make funding Ukraine inherently more difficult. Connected to that is the benefit of the distraction.
Was she not single before?
Part of the issue with Republican support
She had
for
someone?
Ukraine
She had a husband or
funding
something?
is the party base. That is, a number of representatives broadly believe that
Malone.
weakening Russia is worth the investment of U.S. military
How many men with
funds,
good performing balls do you know?
but
Just
worry
look this
that
way.
voting as
Hey,
such
look.
would invite primary challengers, who would then soak up the support of
I
the
don't
party
know.
base. Some of that may be because
How
when
I would
voters answer questions like those from earlier, they
figure
do
it
not
out
have
for
a good
plenty
sense
of
of how
them.
much money is actually being spent on Ukraine, nor how
So,
that
so
compares
a
to
lot of them are
overall
in the
spending
like
figures.
question thing, a question
Nor
little
that
thing.
what the
What I
funds
need to
mostly
do,
do is
what I need to
subsidize
do
new
is take
American
one of those
weapons,
questionnaire
with
forms,
Ukraine
go to every
receiving
single
the
male
outdated
person I know,
surplus.
and be like,
This
"Hello,
knowledge gap was
here's a
part of the
questionnaire.
purpose
First,
behind
how much
Biden's
sex did you have in the
October
last year?
19th primetime
Second,
address
how are
from
your
the
balls?"
Oval Office,
And then I need
persuade
to make
voters with
statistics on that.
information they may have been unaware of. How effective that will be, either because
Huge
of
fucking
general
TV. This
political
reminds me of
aware
that goddamn sphere that
how
USA
effective
has.
that will be, either because of general political polarization, or because some portion of voters have genuine isolationist preferences, remains unclear. Whatever the reason, the saga of former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy is emblematic of the disconnect. Although this story is about
Some people
Ukraine,
who have more
in
children,
May
they had sex.
2023, McCarthy coincidentally traveled
I know of
to
a
Israel,
situation
bearing in mind that Israeli-Russian relations were still
couple.
somewhat amicable.
Both
It
of them
presented
Romani.
a rare moment where Russians could
They were
directly
very young
interact
when they
with
started
McCarthy.
dating,
And
but they were
indeed,
not allowed
during
to
this
date
press
because their
conference
families
there,
had a feud or
a
something. I
Russian
don't know.
reporter asked a
But
loaded
basically, both of them didn't
We
really
know
get a
that you
good
do not
education,
support weaponry
so they
and
were coming
aid
to the
to
store.
Ukraine. So is
And
it possible
sorry,
that-
by the way, I can't listen. I'm skipping so much of the video. They were coming to the store, and I remember when the girl was trying to buy pads, and we needed to like help her to figure out, you know, what she needs to buy, because she was trying to explain what she needs to buy and what she saw in advertisements, but we weren't quite figuring it out. But basically, they were waiting until marriage. First or second time, it is not yet clear when they had sex. She stays pregnant, has triplets. So literally more children than they had sex. Immediately, like one of the first shots. So yeah, I mean, that's enough fuckery for the rest of her life, to be honest. If I was in that situation, I would just never bang again. Imagine that. You have sex once, immediately triplets. You know what a horror it is to raise triplets? Have you ever seen a mother with triplets? Because I have. Few of them. 2, 3, 4. 4 I know. It is a sad existence. Yeah, I would never have sex again. Oh, never, never. I would wear one of those, you know, those like medieval metal things with a lock. Immediately. Fuck that shit, my dude. Meloni's husband approached on live TV another girl for a threesome. What? Why was Meloni dating an idiot in the first place? For triples families, to be fair, I do work in retail, so I meet a lot of people from the area. So I guess, like on a casual basis, I know a bit more people because I interact with a lot of people. So it could be that, Or maybe it's just common here. I don't know what it is. It's Hungarians though. So one is the Romani family in question and the others are Hungarians. But I don't know if there's like a genetic component to it. I know there's a genetic component to twins, right? Like if you are a twin, you're more likely to make twin babies, right? I think I'm correct on that one. That's why they have like whole villages and stuff, right? Where there's twins common because if you're a twin, you're more likely to be making twins. Meloni looks like a sex freak. Could be. She feels like a sex freak. She feels like she would have a whip. And like handcuffs. And speak to me in Italian, which I don't know. Pasta and pizza. Oh. Man, this dude is a piece of shit. I just saw someone post these days about how Russians weren't even hiding the fact that this piece of shit was invading. They showed him on national TV and everything. They were not hiding him at all. They were not embarrassed of this man at all. They were bragging about the fact that he was a supposed rebel fighting there in Donbass. Ridiculous. Fertility medicine makes women have a higher chance of twins or triplets. Oh! Huh. See, that's interesting. I just knew of the genetic component. I didn't know you can do it in other ways. Women has to have sex only to procreate. I hope her daughter has managed to have a good dick in her life. To be fair, I have some relatives who lived in a very similar way of like, you must only have sex to procreate. You can't have it to just enjoy sex. And usually that makes you enter relationships very, very young. Very, very, very young. That's my experience with that. Like when I hear people say that they waited until marriage, I'm like, oh. So like you signed a paper just to be allowed to have sex. Because that's what it seems like, right? Like you imagine being 18 and being like really, really horny and you really, really, really want to have sex with this girl, but you can't before you sign a paper. You would sign a fucking paper. Teenagers are stupid. You would sign a fucking paper, and then you end up in a worthless relationship because you signed a goddamn paper to sex. It doesn't really seem like too smart of a thing. I don't know. And then when they talk about, they have their little jokes. There's this dude who constantly, like, his joke to go is, we couldn't wait to get home. After, like, signing the papers in church. We couldn't wait to get home. That's kind of... like, you were so horny. You couldn't wait to go home after signing your marriage papers. You couldn't wait to go home to have sex. I don't know, in normal relationships, you would already be past this step. You would already be casual with each other. You would already know if your libido's fit and everything. You're just testing things out. It's the start of everything. I don't know. It's just a stupid little thing. She looks like whips and handcuffs bore her. Oh shit, you think she has like one of those 30 Shades of Grey things where it's like a whole room with toys everywhere? But it's Italian toys, it has to be Italian. He's been married and divorced like 8 times. I wonder why. Why would... That's a thing that interests me though. Because I have a grandmother. And, okay, she has been divorced. Her husbands have died. But the important thing is, she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 husbands so far, right? She is currently dating a man who had 5 wives. And now he has her, right? When you hear someone had that many past partners, are you not worried? Are you not a little bit worried? It's different if it was like 1, maybe 2, I think I could reasonably try to explain, but like 8? Like, what was in the mind of the woman number 8? Yeah, 7 times previously he got married and then divorced. Certainly this time it's going to be better. How old is your grandma? She's 80, I think 86, 87 or something, 87. Something around that age. I don't know how old her suitor is. He's not a local man. She found him around. I don't know where she dug him from. He was going around chopping wood and, she liked him. Macron? Ooh, yeah. Macron definitely, yeah. I don't know if there's competition, to be honest. I feel like it's just him. Yep. I'm trying to think of someone else now. He lies about his past divorce. He's like, yeah, guys, I only got divorced 4 times. And then she gets used to it. And then he's like, surprise. Passport? I don't even know how it looks in passports. I haven't had a passport in such a long time. I haven't had one since we entered the European Union. Because we didn't need passports when we became European Union members. We didn't need passports to enter Serbia and to enter Slovenia. And those were the only 2 countries where I was going. So... I'm passportless. I'm passportless. By the way, I'm gonna be leaving for a second. I'm leaving you to complete a little bit of this video before I come back. And then we have to watch my alcoholism videos, you losers. Be right back.
That US policy will change? McCarthy was perplexed for a second, but then made the reporter likely regret asking the question. I do not support what your country has done to Ukraine, he said. I do not support your killing of the children either. And I think, for one standpoint, you should pull out. Months later, McCarthy faced challenges within his caucus to maintain the speaker's gavel. Then he began publicly adopting skeptical rhetoric on funding for Ukraine, that he had a lot of questions about where the money was going and whether it was a good use of taxpayer dollars. Much of this appeared to be political theater, though. When Zelensky visited Washington in September and had a private meeting with McCarthy, the speaker declared that Zelensky had addressed his questions and all was fine with the coalition. Part of what is happening here is a 24/7 news cycle pressure. Every day that passes where Ukraine is in the news, but has not made progress on its counteroffensive, is further proof that the aid is a waste. To be clear, the slow progress has been far from ideal for Ukraine, and we have discussed before how its current strategy is making a huge and risky bet on Russian mobilization constraints. But the negative attitudes in general surrounding the Ukrainian offensive are overstated, given that Ukraine has made some progress, despite trying to penetrate deeply entrenched
Sexiest
Russian
president?
positions. In that sense, from Ukraine's
Who do people think is
perspective,
the sexiest
it would
president
be
existing
better
right
for
now?
U.S. domestic political
Don't you need
purposes
passport for Croatia? Nope.
if Ukraine just stayed out
Nope.
of the news.
Nope.
In other words, reports of
You don't
no
need
news
passports
is
to
worse
exist.
than having literal
You can take
no
one out.
news be reported.
You need it for some
And
shit,
literal
apparently, if you
no
have some
news
businesses,
reported
you're gonna
on
need it.
Ukraine is basically what has happened since the
I'm a
Gaza
retail
crisis
worker
began.
who does Twitch
Whereas
streaming
top
on site
stories
for some
on
extra
the latest
cash.
Ukrainian drama were
I need a
commonplace
passport.
on October 6th. They became
I
either
don't know what people
relegated
use
to the back
passports for
pages
usually, to be
or
honest.
non-existent afterward.
Because
Look
listen,
no
I'm
further than
saying,
October 17th. Ukraine destroyed
what's the name of that
9
hot one?
helicopters parked in Berdyansk, marking the long-awaited debut
Fuck,
of
can't remember
ATACMS,
his name.
the aforementioned missile that goes into HIMARS launchers. The 3 daily network news broadcasts in the United States combined to spend 0 minutes and 0 seconds on the story. A month
Sleepers!
earlier, that would have
Sleepers!
been crazy.
Thank you for the subby,
But
sleepers. Thank you
instead,
very,
the
very
focus
much.
was on the explosion at the
What's his
hospital
name?
in
What's his name?
Gaza,
What's his name?
the House Speaker's race, and Chinese jets brushing up against
Petr.
American military flights.
I remembered his name.
However,
It's Petr Pavel.
within the national security community,
Check this out. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Don't lie to me. Do not lie to me. This man makes you feel a little tiny bit gay. Look at him. Just look at him. Have you seen him driving his motor around? He came to one meeting. I don't know which meeting it was. I don't remember it. He came to it with like fucking motor in like full outfit and everything. I was like, yeah, I've got some little meeting, some little diplomacy thing I need to do. Let me just hop on my bike. Man, I just Kaya. Ooh, I'm more into Meloni type of girls. Kaya feels like she would be one of those really nice people, and I'm not really attracted to those. She feels like she would be one of, you know, there's people who are just nice, and everything. I don't vibe with them. I don't vibe with them. Not in a sexual way. I do vibe with them in like let's be friends forever way. I can't see her as attractive. Sanna Marin though, yeah, I can see Sanna Marin. Sanna Marin, yeah. I see that. Have you ever considered, though, the absolute most attractive politician ever existing? Željka Markić from Croatia. No, wait, that was a joke. Yeah, Donald Trump. What did he look like? Did he look like a fucking clown? This what you like? This what you like? He looks like one of my relatives. There he looks like an uncle. There he looks like a dork. You know that meme with that dog with glasses going bonk? That. Lovely, just lovely. Young Biden? I've never seen Biden young. Joe. Man. Really? Yeah, that meme. Wait, which one? Who is this? Is that Biden? Is that Biden? Could agree. Could agree. This pic could agree. Could agree. This looks like a man who could steal my heart and also suggest bombing of Belgrade. Supportive. All praise to USA for picking him as your president. Good choice, good choice. Choosing between and Boeing guy, you have chosen properly. Estonian soldier who does updates on Ukraine. Oh, wait, I thought you mean Arthur, but he's not a soldier, right? Why does every American president look like a person you should never leave your kid with? I think it's natural as a European to see something uniquely American and be like, oh yeah, I should not leave my kid with this person. You know, because Americans gonna teach them to rebel against you. Throw your tea into harbor, demand independence. It's just the classical not wanting them to grow apart. He was a soldier. Like a... Why? Ah, Estonian soldier. And then he changed it to YouTuber. Oh! I don't know anything about Arthur's previous YouTube life. What I know about is that we saw one video of his, which was a meme. And then in it, he had lots of chest hair. That's what I remember. If you say Estonian chest hair person, I know you're thinking of Arthur. If you say anything else regarding his previous existence as a YouTuber, I know nothing. I know nothing. I started learning about a dude like a few months ago because he was a NAFO person. Obama. Oh, Obama seems lovely. But then, you know, he was kind of evil on the whole Russian invasion Ukraine topic. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Man knows how to present himself really, really well though. Kinda interesting how USA is still very do I want to say obsessed with the dude? Very obsessed with the dude. I saw someone a few days ago on Reddit. There was a whole chaos because someone posted a photograph of one of Obama's daughters, and she was smoking a cigarette outside. And someone snapped a picture of her and posted it around, and they were like, oh, look at this, holy shit, Obama's daughter is smoking cigarettes. And then people in the comments going wild over it. You people are interesting to watch sometimes. Now, sometimes I look at USA Direction and I'm like, Young. Did she look the same? She gonna have the same pose. Now I'm interested actually though. Was she hot? Ah, she looked very German. Oh, she looked very German. If you saw this picture somewhere, you would have been like, is that a German? And it is a German. A very German. A very, very, very German. Uniquely German look to her. Nice. Oh yeah. Yeah, Prime Helga. Oh. Very German baby. Yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, perfect. That is just perfect. I did not expect this. Piece of me is starting to like her a little bit more now because I see a Germanness in her. And I don't want to do that. What does Schultz look like? Olaf. His name is Olaf. I was trying to remember his name. Man went from kinda bangable to someone's uncle. That's it. He had like a period, I guess, of like a month in his life where he looked kinda bangable. And then he switched to that. Guy from Stranger Things. Hey, I know Stranger Things only from TikTok memes. I know nothing about it. With the patch, he was cool with the patch. As a pirate. Olaf Schultz pirate. He was looking cool with the patch. I wish he has the patch more. Look at this man. That was a choice. That was a choice. Man could have chosen to wear any of the loser little thingies that people choose when they have an eye injury. He wore a goddamn patch. He should have worn a hat. Arthur's first video. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. How much chest high is in it? Is it just chest high and that's it?
Lenor predstavlja, je li moguće da vaše rublje miriše svježe, a živite u gradu? Sad je
Wig
to
and
puno
the eye
lakše
patch?
zahvaljujući inovaciji iz Lenora. Samo koristite Lenor Fresh
Hmm.
RFX.
Consider this. Consider this. Wig plus eye patch plus he goes properly into Dark Schultz mode. Okay, so like he's not a pussy anymore. He goes back fully into like, let's give Ukraine Taurus so they can fuck up some Russians. That would be very bangable. I think we should all agree that would be very, very bangable. We should encourage him. He looks like a man who could use some lovin'. We should encourage him that he could maybe get some lovin' if he tries to do that.
I rublje će mirisati svježe kao da se sušilo na svježem zraku. Isprobajte našu najbolju svježinu.
Hey, oh my god, ten picture of you. Davai, mul on 5 sekundi pressioon. Kas need on need uued kingad, millest sa rääkisid? Joo, uued kingad, just sain. Need on nii lahedad, ma katsun neid. Verivärsked, katsu. Ostsin nad H&M-ist, maksid 10 eurot. Täitsa ilusad ja puha. Ma täitsa kujutab, üks poiss vaatas mind enne, kui ma õues käis, ta oli nii nunnu. Arme nüüd abinelunud nemaga. Päriselt, mis ta nimi oli? Kas Peeter, kas Väino, kas Ülle, kas Kalle? Oh my god, sul patsikummi on, mul jookseb nii lahti praegu. Kuule, sa võrri praegu ei ole, no just kulutasin viimase ära. Sa ei ole mingi sõbranna. Mine perse, ma ei räägi sinuga.
I have no fucking idea what he's saying.
Kuule, sa porgandit tahad või? Kuule, praegu ei taha, mul on keeks peal.
Things women do that men don't.
Varsti ütles, et kui ma midagi muud, siis ma ei paksuks, noh. Ei või midagi süüa. Ma võin uurida vette, võin juua. Kas porgand on vesi? Kuule, sul nii ilusad juuksed, mis tooni sa kasutada? Ma neid juukseid mõtleme, ma kasutan.
I have to see. No, fuck. It's just name for people being like, hey. Okay, what is that? Demanding more videos. Shh. I thought I would be explaining at least some of it. Give me some context, you loser. Girls aren't like that either, but otherwise it's quite correct. What do you mean? What do you mean? The entire premise of the video isn't really like that, but it's quite correct. Man, YouTube 8 fucking years ago. That was a cool place. That was a cool... Did he get an audience on videos like these? I love this man. Estonian is weird. It's an interesting language. I haven't heard it really before simping for their politicians. Who remembers that one speech? That was a really good speech by that Estonian man about why he doesn't care about good Russians. And I always want to save it and I never do. Really good speech. And that's when I first actually started like listening a little bit to the language. It's chaos. It's weird. It's nothing similar to any other language I expected it to be. It was like my first time hearing fucking Georgian and being like, what? Because you have expectations of what language it's gonna be similar to, and it isn't. Finnish? Have you heard Finnish? Finnish is fucking weird. Hey there, I haven't shown you my alcohol things, and I wanted to show you my alcohol things. Okay, I had a bunch of things on alcohol that you need to see. Did we watch this Kraut video is my first question, because I don't remember if we did. But Kraut made a video on how vodka ruined Russia. And I was like, yeah, we could watch that one. We could watch that one, and then we could watch the rest of them. Well, we could watch that one. Finnish Grammar is a horror show. I actually don't know, is Finnish Grammar Because Finnish is similar to Hungarian, but Hungarian grammar is very easy. Hungarian grammatics is very, very easy. It's when Hungarians want to learn Croatian, they have a very hard time because they do not have noun tenses in Hungarian, so they can't understand noun tenses. They can't understand genders of nouns because they don't have those. Yeah, Hungarian is very, very weird. No, we don't have articles. We don't have articles. No. I think it's kind of cool not to have them. You know how long it took me when I was learning English to figure out why articles exist? What's the fucking point of articles? Why do you have articles? Why can't I just say word? Why can I not just say word and word carry meaning? Why do I have to say a or the before the word? That's kind of dumbass. Talking about dumbass things, have you seen Korean grammatics? Japanese, very similar to those, by the way. Korean grammatics, they have articles. They have articles at the end of the fucking word. It's not even in the start. They have a word and then they have the article. We should just make articles illegal. I don't understand what's the point. I can just say word. Why can't I just say word? What is that? 15 plus tenses, really? Wait, noun tenses? Or like verb tenses? I don't know if noun tense is a proper word to use. Cute. German articles true. They are die, das, and then you have to change them depending on the article of the noun. Gendered adjectives. Hey, we got that too. I'm okay with genders. I'm not okay with articles. When I say articles, am I thinking of the thing that are articles? These are pronouns. No, I wanted to look up tenses for this. No, I'm mixing up words. Noun tenses. Noun forms. Oh, Finnish doesn't have gender. Oh yeah, it's like Hungarian. It's like Hungarian. Plus no articles. They do, though. They do have tenses. They don't have future. They don't have future. Moods? Israel flag. It was redeemed. I allow people to redeem whichever flags they want to show, as long as it's not a problematic one. And I understand people supporting Israel. I understand people supporting Palestine. So I'm like, yeah. Doesn't the Ukrainian have like 6 cases? I'm not sure how many they have. My problem with Ukrainian, and I've been learning Ukrainian on Duolingo for a while. My problem with Ukrainian is that I see Ukrainian as a differently spoken Croatian. So things that I don't know in Croatian, I don't know them in Ukrainian either. I don't know how many tenses we have in Croatian, for example. I never looked it up. I never looked that shit up. It's just that sometimes like I hear a sentence in Ukrainian and I can get from context clues, I can get what tense they mean. So in my head, it's like, oh yeah, this is basically Croatian. And then I never bother to look into stuff like that. got 7 cases, Russians have 6. How many do we have? No, wait, cases. Wait, what are we talking about? Talking tenses? Wait, plus past perfect is a tense. Right? Past perfect is a tense, a verb tense. But, what do you mean by so much lies? Which lies have we said? Past perfect is a tense, but cases, are these like noun cases? Because we have we have 7. We got 7 noun cases. Serbian also has 7. They just put them in a different order than we do. You can support Palestine without supporting Hamas. You can support Israel and find the actions of the government and the IDF equally as appalling as what Hamas does. Yeah. I can see that. I think, when it comes to that, both positions have reasonable people on them, and both positions have morons there, right? So I think I'm okay with either position presenting itself as long as the person keeps, a reasonable string of opinions, which I think is quite easy to do. I would like to believe that we have collected a rather normal sum of viewers. I would like to believe that we have collected rather, how would I call this? Yeah, normal. Normal might be the best word for it. Rather normal people around. So I think it's okay to have these types of conversations. By the way, I have to show you something. I forgot previously. You have reminded me now. Yeah, on both sides we're dealing with genocidal actors. Also important to understand, I think, is that in both situations you have people whose religious fundamentalism makes them not want to have a shared country, one country solution. Like in both cases, this is not just about Palestinians wanting a state of their own, which could be based on their religious, ethno-religious existence. This is also about Israelis wanting the same thing. They want a Jewish state. Both of them are dealing with the same problems. Pretending like one side is more accepting of the other, I think is not really reasonable, and I think they haven't really shown it, either of them. I think we're trying to, from both sides, we're trying to make up more excuses for whoever we want to be supporting, and I think it's kind of delusional, to be honest, my dudes. So yeah. When you call someone like Victoria, vocative. We call that vocative. But this is what I wanted to show you. Have you seen this? In the actual horseshoe theory? Saw it yesterday. I thought it was kind of based. So the idea is that if you're a center, you will support Ukraine and Israel. You have a mix of supporting Ukraine and Palestine, which means that you're basically quite based. You're against all of the invasions. You are fighting against imperialism itself, right? So you're trying to be supportive of states which are seen as suffering attacks from a greater, stronger power, and you want them to be able to get their freedom. Or you could be supporting Ukraine and Israel, which means that you are likely just supporting the dominance of Western democracy and Western values, right? And basically what my view is that if you fall into these, I think you're quite based. I think you're okay, and I think we can have a reasonable conversation. If you fall into Russia-Israel one, I think you're absolutely fucking delusional, and also I think you're kind of useless to talk to be honest. And also the same with like Russia-Palestine one, in which case I also think you are like intentionally stupid, very likely grifting. I think for Russia-Israel one, you may be a victim of propaganda, maybe. But like if you're a Russia-Palestine person, I think you are intentionally just pretending to be stupid, because I don't know. I don't know how in the world those two could coexist in your stupid ass fucking brain. I don't see it. But yeah, as long as you fall under the Ukrainian flag, as long as you fall under any of these, I think we're GG. Most brain-dead opinion? Yeah, I think it's Russia-Palestine. Doesn't even have to be Russia-Hamas. It can just be Russia-Palestine, and I still think it's a brain-dead position. Because when you hear them talk about it, the way you hear them talk about it is like, we support the right of Palestinians to defend themselves against the Israeli aggression, which like makes sense. As one point, makes sense, right? But then you combine that with, but we support Russian invasion onto Ukraine. How are you trying to support one side in fighting the aggression, but you think the other side should perish as a victim of aggression? How? What's the values? There's no values there. There's nothing. Russia flag should be all shot on the right. Oh, here? Could see it. End point of imperialism is now states. After all has been conquered. Also a lot of people under control of this one empire, which is worldwide, which I would say it's quite a bad thing. Have you considered America bad? The two MAGA communists. Yeah, well, yeah, people intentionally stupid. I don't believe MAGA communists are real. In a sense, I don't believe MAGA communists are people who actually hold the views that they claim to hold. I believe MAGA communists are grifting. You can't be functioning as a person and be a MAGA communist, right? You have to be doing it just to be edgy. It's one of those dumbass things that you say to get people around you shocked. That's how I see it. You know how like teenagers sometimes say some wild shit just so everyone would be like, oh, you're so edgy. That's how I see MAGA communists. It's like, ha, I support Trump and I'm a communist, ha ha ha. And you can't wait for people to go, oh, that is horrible. It just kind of feeds your little ego. You got a song? Do I want to listen to a song? Is it a hateful song? Is it a hateful little singy song? Like a communist costume for Halloween. You just go into a corner and eat some crayons. Where is this? But with English. This one.
Produžite kosu do beskonačnosti, tako zdrava da je ni ne želite šišati uz novi Pantene Infinitely Long.
Thinking about getting an MBA,
Another
but
one.
not sure what commitment you should expect. Studying an MBA at IU.
Thank you. Thank you. There was a long way to reach this. Hinkle? Did you know Hinkle is a kid? Did you know that's a kid? Because Lenny, he's a kid, unironically changed my entire opinion of him. That's a kid. He's like, what, 22? It's a child. That's a little baby. No one loved him. No one ever loved that kiddo, so he went to do his edgy bullshit around. That's a kid. Oh, I don't think he's formed enough as a person to be anything, to be honest. I just think he's a little kiddo and he's trying to impress someone into loving him at least a little bit. You got more anti-Russian songs? By the way, Estonia, best flag of Europe. The best fucking flag of Europe. Just the color combo, magical. It's a gorgeous one. It's a gorgeous one. I love it. Absolutely. Let me click on this. Let me see what this is. Ah, that's the song that Arthur sings. I wanted to ask which one is it that he plays on his little harmonica. Oh, this one. I love this one.
Василькова, звуся Гриша, куми Вова, вранці біля військкомату взяли автомати. Біля мрії, біля бучих, били москалів їбучих, під Києвом замком роти, вчив нас мить окопи. Я умди лопати, поруч вірні,
Man, I love them so much.
Московію здолати, треба бля копати. Я умди лопати,
Also, how they say kum. This song was when I figured you people use kum when we use kum.
Гранати покидали край села, в сусідній хаті стріли замком бата. Каже, рідні мої брати, ваша зброя лопати, у піхоти дві роботи, як не смалиш рік.
Yeah, kum kinda is homoerotic.
Покидали всі гранати, у піхоти дві роботи, як не смалиш рік окопи, як кумди лопати покидали.
Yeah, it's like you're godfathers to each other's kids. So you're like very, very close, right? It just, there's warmth to it. There's so much warmth to the term. Look at him. With those fucking shovels. Man, I love this song so much. I wanna drink to this song. I really, really wanna drink to this. Yeah, kuma. Because it's also a term for like, I don't know if you use it. I think we use similar ways, right? Because there's Slavs. Oh damn. Because we have a thing here with like, kum is also, it's not just, he doesn't become a kum when he becomes a godfather to your children, right? He becomes a kum much earlier. It's like, for example, I have two friends, male friends, right? And both of them were very, very close to each other for most of their lives. And they were always like calling each other kum. It was always like that. It was always that sort of a relationship. And then later, you know, when you actually have kids and you actually have a family, then you keep on building this relationship. But it starts much, much earlier. I don't know, there's just like strength to the term. It's like levels stronger than just calling someone a friend. So when I first heard a song, and I first heard it, I was like, man, just, oh, ooh. Guess it's not a war song. Oh yeah, I don't know how to separate like between I'm trying to look at what I have here. Between nationalistic songs, patriotic songs, and like war songs. It's all everything, isn't it? It's all everything. It all counts. All of it. Which is this one? Do I know this one? Ariel. Man, they're making me want to pay $9.55.
Novi DAV Advanced Care od sada sa 72 sata zaštite.
Do you smell? You losers. You smelly little pigs. Buy that Dove thing. Actually, don't. I think Dove didn't pull out of Russia, right? Don't buy the Dove thing. Smell. It's better to smell. If I try the blocking shit, then YouTube cries. YouTube's like, we're gonna only allow you to watch 3 videos. And then not a single one more. Nie pówki. Man, nice. I haven't heard of this one. Should know. Humongous balls on those people. Just man. Fucking amazing. I remember reading today. I read about Ukrainian farmers and how they, because they don't want to wait for sappers to look through the fields, what they do is they go there themselves into their fields, and wherever they find mines or something suspicious, they mark it on a map and they work the rest of the field. And they call the sappers basically like, oh, these are the locations, so come here, do controlled explosions, and we're just gonna continue doing the rest of the field. And they do. They continue doing the rest of the field. Man. Misogyny? What do you think my opinion would be? It's quite negative. Wait, now I have to pause this.
First I want to say I did not cause that plane to crash. The evil Western media are talking utter trash. Yes, Prigozhin challenged me and weeks later he dies. But planes are very dangerous, crashes happen all the time. It seems an army missile shot the plane out of the sky. If so, that's just unlucky, it was their wrong place, wrong time. Don't you think it's strange that all your critics end up dead? All their deaths were accidents, don't believe what you've read. What about the one who drowned after he questioned you? He swam without his armbands, it's a silly thing to do. Isn't it bizarre that several died falling from windows? That can happen if you're looking out and then the wind blows. Yes, the news is tragic, I was so sorry to hear, but some advice for everyone. Don't question Vladimir.
Kill the guy who keeps asking questions.
First I want to say I did not cause that plane to
I fully expect Skade presenting this on his next stream as evidence of Putin not being involved in the killing of Prigozhin. I'm just saying. Messenger, yeah, same shit. Same shit, same shit. By the way, I have to go soon. Have to go soon. Have to leave soon. It is 8:13. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know I have to go to work tomorrow? No, you didn't. I have to show you something I found, by the way. There's something so calming about that melody. Such a cool little thing. Jordan Peterson, I think Jordan Peterson's full of shit. I think Jordan Peterson's one of those people who likes to present his opinions as scientific, even though he's just useless blabber, to be honest. Not a big fan. I think he likes using long words to pretend to be smarter than what he is. What is that? Hey, survived interrogations and threats in a torture chamber.
Keeping track of leads in your business or in your workflow can be super overwhelming.
Ми зараз перебуваємо на подвір'ї
What?
де у підвалі була катівня, де тримали людей у спеціальних клітках, і де я була із своєю донькою, чоловіком і сусідкою. В сусідніх клітках сиділо багато людей, але ми мали змогу бачити лише одного чоловіка, він був закривавлений весь. Інші були від нас закриті перегородками із ящиків, з-під снарядів. Нас сюди привезли в мішках на головах, тримало тут кілька годин. Приміщення було дуже вузьке, можливо було лише сидіти і встати. Їжі, води, нічого нам не давали. Ми були кілька годин, потім нас звідси знову ж у мішках на головах перевели до в'язниці, вже, де ми перебували надалі.
Man.
Ми 3 дні практично не їли. Там була величезна задуха, і ми не знали, що з нами буде. І там люди перебували, дівчата перебували, яких били, під тортурами добували якісь там зізнання. Перед цим доньку мою викликали на допит, коли мені вже почали погрожувати тим, що будуть мою доньку переді мною підвергати тортурам на моїх очах. Я вже не витримала і втратила свідомість. Коли вже я прийшла в себе, побачила, що я лежу в калюжі води, і наді мною вже медики стоять, нахилилися. І один із них сказав, що в неї предінфарктний стан і треба капати, тому що в неї вже був один інфаркт, ми її знаємо, нещодавно був. І мене на скорій відвезли от сюди, в нашу поліклініку, де я перебувала якийсь час, мене капали. І доньку мою кадирівці потім теж привели туди і наказали нам бути там. нікуди не уходить, не виходить, і кожного дня слідкували, чи не пішли ми. Ми з нею спали на одних нарах, їли з однієї тарілки раз в день. Коли її забрали на допит, це був найстрашніший момент, мабуть, всього мого життя взагалі. Я її 3 дні, поки вона лежала зі мною, поки ми чекали, я їй розповідала, як треба себе поводити на допиті. Я розуміла, що я витримаю, а за нею я не була впевнена. Вона дитина ще.
Man, that is horrible. That is just fucking horrible. Details of other cases. I mean, it's so fucking heartbreaking. Nothing will likely be, happening out of this. The possibilities of any types of war crimes trials against the perpetrators are very unlikely, and it's just. Oh, is this the one on? No. Huh. Man. That's not justice.
It was an extraordinary show of mass defiance in the Baltic region of the Soviet Union.
Whenever you give free speech to people, then things get out of hand.
This singing together, this was our power.
If 20,000 people
It's not getting away with it, true.
then you just cannot shut them up. It's impossible.
That's true, that's true.
What role can singing play when a nation is faced with annihilation by its neighbors? Can culture hold a people
Baltic Way.
together? The small country of Estonia has faced these questions.
I think that to have freedom through singing was the most important thing maybe in my life.
This is the story of how culture saved a nation.
Man, that just fucking makes me more angry stuff like this. Like such a beautiful nation with such great fucking people that goddamn treated horribly by an empire of useless men in it, which has continued to be an empire of useless men, and nothing ever changed and nothing ever improved about it. How fucking sad is that? Last one. I'm going to sleep. Oh shit. Okay, fair.
Pitanje je moja stvar. Bez obzira na to imam li mjesečnicu ili ne, mogu se slobodno kretati. Isprobaj
They're
ovo
doing
s
ice
platinom.
skating.
Mekan je. Brzo upija i neutralizira mirise. Sve u jednom ulošku. Mogu se predati svakom pokretu. Always Platinum.
This is your sex ed class, by the way, guys. Did I just say red blood in an advertisement, by the way? That was impressive. Huh. Oh, it started in October this year, by the way. October this year they started making advertisements with red blood. Nice. Be my PC. I'm from Croatia. We have a very limited amount of companies. So we just get everything. Is it hard to play on a guitar? Alcohol education. Next stream. We'll have to do it next stream. You have distracted me this time. Cruel. Evil. Here's a beginner edition. I'm trying to drink more water. I'm trying to drink more water recently because I'm trying to diet. You can guess how it's working considering the fact I'm eating chocolate right now. Soviet fight against alcohol? Yeah, I think I actually found one. Well, let me show you what I had saved for today before you distracted me. I had Kraut. I had this one documentary from 2003. I don't know if it's good, but it's a documentary on Russia's drinking problem. So I was like, yeah, I mean, we might see it. I clicked on half of it to see how many pixels it has, but it seems to be okay. Saved this one. Saved this one, which is on Eastern Europeans and our problem with alcohol. Saved this one on Irish alcoholic drinks having health warning labels. And then this on alcohol cancer labels. So it's like it goes into the same thing, but it goes into it a little bit more deeply. So I thought it might be interesting to look into that. And then I looked into this one, which is, you know, basically the same thing, just from Euronews. I wanted to save some Euronews shit, okay? And then I saved this research, which shows predictors and prevalence of hazardous alcohol use in middle, late to late adulthood in Europe, basically why we are falling apart, and also how much strain on our economy are all the alcoholics that we have, because, you know, helping them heal takes quite a lot of time, quite a lot of resources, and then how many people die because they're overusing alcohol and shit like that. So yeah, quite kind of cool thing, kind of cool little thingy. And then I've saved this. What is this? This is an advertisement. That's what it is, apparently. Oh yeah, study finds there's no safe level of drinking alcohol. No matter how much of it you drink, you're likely unsafe. And then I've saved this, which is the effect of some bullshit. Basically, this is a little bacteria that they have gotten from baby feces. So what they did is they have introduced him to a mice on alcohol, and they have learned that this actually helps heal his liver. That's what they have learned. So yeah, it's called, there's a word for this. There's a word for this. Regulating intestinal flora. This is also what they do to you if you have, I can't remember the name of the disease, but there's a name of the disease where your, the fuck am I thinking of in English? I know the Croatian word for it. Look, I've been here for quite a long time. Funny system. Yeah, your digestive system isn't working properly, and one of the ways to treat it is to get some sort of bacteria from the feces of a healthy person, and they introduce it to your system, and then you actually do get better. Basically, similar thing could be used to try and help people who have liver damage because of their overuse of alcohol. It could be used to help them. So that's good. That's good. And then I've saved this one because it talks about how does better regulation shape European Union health policy, because it's connected to the Irish, beer labels thing. And then I have looked into better regulation. So basically, what does better regulation mean regarding European Commission? How are they planning to make their laws? How are they planning to make the regulations? And I have saved 2 videos explaining how the system is supposed to be working. So there's one of them. Somewhere here. Here's one of them. And then here's the other one of them. And I'm planning that we go through both of them. So we could kind of learn how the system works. And you know why European Union is fucking based, and you should be very, very happy that you are a part of it. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. How shit would your countries be if you were not in this? Very, very shit. I knew it. And I think that's about it. I am planning to go through, if possible, all of the countries of European Union these days to collect their own personal problems with alcohol use, so we could do a little comparison between them, like we did for religion and like we did for sexuality. But I'm basically planning to look through this. One of the plans, by the way, was to go and do a stream on how European Union failed its women, because last week we had a conversation on those Italian cases. You know, when they had a case where they claimed a woman was too ugly to be raped and stuff like that, and then the case with the underwear. I actually looked into the 10-second groping case, where a woman was on court because she said someone groped her. And the Italian court was like, no, it doesn't count as sexual assault because he wasn't groping your titties for 10 seconds at least. So there was a whole TikTok trend around it in which people tried to show you how long 10 seconds fucking is in that sort of a situation, and why the court was absolutely horrible for throwing out a case. So I'm planning to do a whole week stream just on that, on how our system is failing, but we also will have to do that, I'm thinking after next week, because I've got problems because this week is going to be relatively busy. Plus I have taken more translating work so I could have more money to spend on Christmas. So I have to do my translations, and then next week I'm having my birthday, so it's also going to be a bit busy. So I'm hoping week after that to go back into the routine, and then we can do bigger topics, because there's few bigger topics that I want to be properly following. You have to get consent to grope things that are gropable when they are attached to another living being. Usually that is how it works. you gotta get allowance. You can't just go and grope stuff that you want to grope. We're humans, we're not animals. Holy shit. Evil. But yeah, I'm running away. Going to be seeing you tomorrow, so same time as today. If you have some news about alcohol, if you have some research on alcohol, let me know. Especially alcohol regarding European Union, alcohol regarding... I started looking into alcohol regarding how it changes the nations and how it changes groups of people. Most of the research I was able to find, though, was based on like Native Americans. I wasn't able to find too much on Europeans. I was able to find how much money it takes away from our system, but you know, I would love to see more like specific conversations. Most of it, though, when it comes to European level, most of it is on Russians and how Russians are abusing alcohol. So yeah, but yeah, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Enjoy your day. I'm running right now because I have to go eat, I have to go take a shower, I have to go sleep. So stay strong. Love you very much. Have a great rest of your Monday, I guess.